Good morning, Middle Georgia. It's Sunday morning. It is coming up on 9:25 here in Macon, Georgia, and we're tracking a line of severe storms as it's getting ready to make its way into Middle Georgia. Yeah, we're watching this strong line of storms. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect, but also got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings just to our north and west. Upson County, extreme western Upson County, you are currently included in this. I'm just making sure I get everything loaded and going. Want to make sure we're covering all the bases. So just double checking everything before I jump on the camera for you. But again, it's just going to be a busy next couple of hours across Middle Georgia. So that is what we're going to be doing. So again, I'm about to hop up there. These storms have been producing tremendous amounts of damage. I will go ahead and tell you that. Middle Georgia, you need to be prepared. Damaging straight line winds, extensive damage back across Alabama, lots of lightning with these storms, and of course we are seeing a lot of hail as well. So just dealing with these storms right now. And again, I'm going to be jumping up there just a second as we continue to track these storms. Again, pushing off towards the east at about 50 miles per hour. So you're going to be getting watches. You're going to be getting these warnings over the next few hours. And I know a lot of people out and about this morning. A lot of people heading to church or your Sunday morning brunch activities. This is what we're looking at with these storms coming through Middle Georgia. So Upson County right now is our only county that is dealing with that severe thunderstorm warning. But again, these winds are moving east, these storms are moving east at 65 miles per hour. So like I said, going to be a very active few minutes, next couple of hours across Middle Georgia. So that is what we are looking at here now. So again, I'm trying to do my best I can, so we'll get you going. And again, it's going to be very strong storms over the next little while for Middle Georgia. We're watching things very carefully. I'm about to hop up on camera, so got to make sure social media is taken care of, make sure everything else. So we are going to be live streaming this until the storm threat has ended, so I'll go ahead and tell you that. If we do have to break in on air, of course, we will go on WGXA, Fox 24, and EGXA at ABC 16. So just be prepared for that. Should not have any tornado warnings. This is a severe thunderstorm event, but winds have been 60, 70, even 80 miles per hour across Alabama. So that is what we are dealing with in the here and now in Middle Georgia. So just want to make sure everybody is prepared. So Fort Valley, nothing's going on right now. Hey, Jackie Adams. I'm about to pull up the watch for you. And like I said, I'm going to break this down. These storms are actually dropping off towards the east-southeast. So even though they're in LaGrange right now, if you pull this storm down towards the south and east, Thomaston, Upson County, Talbot County, you're up next. That'll continue into Crawford as well as Taylor County, Peach County, so Fort Valley. Yes, you'll likely get some of these storms. So Jackie, just be prepared for that. And I'll put timing out on these storms and everything. I'm just trying to get everything squared away before I hop up there and start really getting into these storms, because these severe thunderstorm warnings will continue to march off towards the east. So this is not going to be weakening. We're actually seeing these storms maintain their intensity. And like I said, they have been producing tremendous amounts of tree and power damage back across Alabama. Personally, my parents are without power, numerous trees down in their yard. They live in the Birmingham area. So that is what we're looking at. Again, lots of lightning with these storms, very strong gusty winds, and hail possible up to 1 inch in size. So that is what we are dealing with this morning. So get prepared. These storms are going to be rolling through here very shortly in Middle Georgia. And again, we just continue to watch everything very carefully this morning. It's just one of those mornings. It's what we call an MCS, and this is what's going to be moving through the mid-state here over the next couple of hours. So again, apologies, I'm about to jump on. You're welcome, Jackie. Doing my best to help you out as best I can. I'm going to try to answer as many comments as possible. So feel free to ask questions if you need to. Like I said, it's just going to be one of those mornings, really the next couple of hours. Severe thunderstorm watch goes until 1 p.m. So this should be in and out of here this morning. Now, we could see additional storms later today, but that'll depend on how much of the atmosphere, the energy in the atmosphere these storms take out. All right, one last thing. All right, here we go. Time to get this going. And again, like I said, I'm going to be trying to answer as many questions as possible. We're going to be here through the end of this. Okay, got that. And again, we're streaming on YouTube and Facebook, as well as on our website, wgxa.tv. So again, we're going to try to stay on the digital platform as much as possible. If conditions do warrant, we of course will jump on air on Fox 24 and ABC 16. So again, this is what we are dealing with this morning. It is now 9:31 here in Middle Georgia, and we are tracking strong to severe storms working their way into Middle Georgia. Apologies, I have my phones with me, but that's how we get a lot of data now. So from our weather service partners, all that kind of stuff. So again, got this severe thunderstorm warning. This goes until 9:45. It does clip extreme western Upson County. And again, this, if you continue to watch this main cluster of storms, is tracking off towards the east-southeast. We will get another warning. Go ahead and prepare for Lamar County, Monroe, Crawford, Taylor County. You're going to be in that next warning. If this continues to head off towards the east, Bibb County, Peach County, Houston County, Twiggs, Wilkinson, and this is that main area of concern where we're seeing tremendous amounts of lightning with this storm. That's a very intense thunderstorm. And like I said, we've been tracking these storms since Mississippi overnight, and they have been producing a lot of damage across Alabama. Like I said, my parents, numerous trees down, tremendous amounts of damage in the Birmingham area, trees and power outages. So we may be dealing with that here in Middle Georgia. I will say these storms have weakened some as they've moved off towards the east. These storms were producing 70 to 80 mile per hour winds earlier. Right now it's in the 60 to 70 miles per hour range, but that still can do a lot of damage. So don't let your guard down. And then back off towards the north and west, another complex of storm. This is what we call MCSs, mesoscale convective systems. They're riding that frontal boundary that's kind of stalled across the deep south. So you're getting this little front acts like a roadway or some train tracks for these clusters of thunderstorms. So they develop out in the plains and then they continue to drop off towards the south and east. This is going to be round one. This will be round two that will come through Middle Georgia later this afternoon and evening. Hopefully, like we saw yesterday, this morning activity will really zap the atmosphere, take a lot of that energy out of it so we don't get redevelopment during the afternoon hours. But it is highly likely that we're going to see additional rain and storms later this afternoon. And like I said, this is the main area of concern right now. We're coming through LaGrange, right along that Interstate 85 corridor, and then 185 dropping you through down towards Muskogee County, the city of Columbus. And again, this is going to be heading off towards the east. Just be prepared. Forsyth, Thomaston, Roberta, Butler, down in Taylor County, Reynolds, Culloden. You're up next in these storms. Barnesville. You're going to get severe weather here in the next couple of minutes. We're going to get that severe thunderstorm warning. Like I said, this current warning goes until 9:45. we'll get a new warning about 9:45, and you can just expect this to move off towards the east. So that is what we are tracking right now. Big picture, severe thunderstorm watch in effect for most of middle Georgia until 1 p.m. this afternoon. It does include Taylor County, Crawford County, Macon-Bibb County, Twiggs County, and Wilkinson County, and then off towards the north. If you're not in the watch, doesn't mean you can't see severe weather. Like I said, I would not be surprised this storm maybe clips portions of Peach County, Houston County, because it is moving off towards the south and east. We may see counties get added to this as well, so do keep that in mind. Hancock, Washington, Johnson County, you could get added to this, maybe some of those counties down towards the south, but all the counties you see shaded in pink, that's a severe thunderstorm watch. A watch means conditions are favorable for severe weather. We have severe weather currently making its way into middle Georgia, and it is this cluster of thunderstorms. Like I said, overnight Mississippi was producing severe weather. This morning, tremendous amounts of damage coming across central Alabama with this storm as it has been making its way off towards the east. We were hoping it would fall apart by the time it got to middle Georgia, but these storms are just so intense that it's not. It's going to be continuing off towards the east, and this is going to be coming through Macon-Bibb County over the next couple of hours. I will stop this. We'll put some tracks on it. Like I said, this activity moving rapidly off towards the east at 65 miles per hour. So I'm going to do the front edge of this, the most intense part of these storms, stretching, and then we'll do it out for the next 45 minutes or so. We'll do the next hour. So this is some of the locations you can expect. And again, these times will adjust a little bit, but these are rough estimates. So we're looking at Griffin at 9:45. That's about in 9 minutes. Thomaston, 9:54. You get to Yatesville at 10:03. High Falls State Park at 10 o'clock, so northern Monroe County. Middle Georgia State University, approximately 10:27. Juliet, of course, that's going to be up in Jones and Monroe County, 10:14. Forsyth at 10:09. Like I said, I know a lot of people are out and about this morning. It's Sunday mornings in the South. You're at church or you're at brunch, you're out at your house of worship. Do keep that in mind. Severe weather, it's going to happen. This is going to continue to move off towards the east. But like I said, the tornado threat is very, very low, but don't let your guard down. These storms, like I said, have had winds 70 to 80 miles per hour back into Alabama. Tremendous amounts of damage. It doesn't matter if it's a tornado or a straight line wind event. If a tree falls on your house or on your car, it's a bad day for you. So please take these storms very, very seriously. City of Macon, 10:30. So we're just shy of an hour from this making it to the Macon-Bibb County area. So go ahead and be prepared. We're going to be seeing these storms. I see no reason why this warning is not going to be extended off towards the east. That's a very intense thunderstorm, and you can tell that by the amount of lightning it is producing. So keep that in mind this morning here in middle Georgia. We'll continue to loop that. Waiting on that next warning to get issued, and then we'll really start getting in on those communities. But like I said, I expect this warning to just be shifted off towards the east. So Lamar County, Monroe County, the rest of Upson County, Crawford County, and Taylor County. You're likely going to get this warning next, as well as the rest of Talbot County. And then maybe gets into Macon-Bibb County, but if not, the next warning will. This is just how it's going to be. This warning is going to continue to shift off towards the east through the rest of this morning and into the early afternoon hours. So that is what we are looking at right now. Again, I'm checking social media, seeing what you're seeing. Just looking at everything, making sure we are all good. Checking on some of our sky cams that we're going to be looking at. Watching these storms roll in from the west. And again, this is just one of those events. Got to watch things very carefully. A lot of energy in the atmosphere. If you're outside, it's warm. It's very muggy. That's instability. That's fuel for these showers and storms. So that is what we continue to track across middle Georgia. Live look. Downtown Macon, it's quiet. It's calm, as it should be this morning. Like I said, it is 9:39. A lot of people just now waking up, getting out on the town, hitting church services, or brunch across middle Georgia, these storms, they're going to be coming through. Rocking and rolling. I promise you, these storms are very intense, producing tremendous amounts of damage off towards the west. And that is what we are continuing to track this morning here in the mid-state. So again, strong to severe storms continue to work their way eastward. Like I said, severe thunderstorm warning until 9:45. You got 5 minutes left. It's going to be extended off towards the east. That is what we are tracking right now. So again, just looking at stuff, a lot going on. Apologies. So just checking with the weather service, see what they're saying. Yeah, seeing a lot of trees down in these storms in Heard County, Heard and Troup counties. So again, this is producing damage as it's coming through the LaGrange area. Up next, of course, is going to be Griffin, Hamilton, Thomaston within the next few minutes or so. And it's really this part of the storm. It's that southern part of the storm. And again, we'll have to watch it carefully. We're not expecting any tornado warnings, but you never know. You always got to watch things very carefully. But this is what we are tracking this morning. And again, if you notice, it's kind of dropping off towards the south and east a little bit. So moving a little due south of east. So let's just track that specific part of the storm this morning. And just looking at stuff. Kind of zoom in, get a little closer for you. And like I said, within the next couple of minutes, you're about to get a new warning. So Lamar County, Monroe County, Crawford County, Taylor County, the rest of Talbot County. That is what we're going to be looking at. And do the here and now. Specifically that main core where you're seeing that most amount of lightning. So this is what we're looking at over the next hour. And again, these times are approximate. So don't just say, hey, it's not going to be here till this time. This is just giving you an idea. So Hickman's Forks at 10:04. Skipstone Academy, it's going to be approximately 10:09. You get down towards Roberta at 10:37, Muzella at 10:34, Thomaston 10:13. Like I said, approximate times. It could be a few minutes earlier, it could be a few minutes later, and just know that this will continue to track off towards the east. Like I said, this is going to be heading towards Bibb County, the city of Macon. You're going to be dealing with these storms probably 10:30 to 11 o'clock time frame. So that is what we are looking at right now. I'm just waiting for this new warning to be issued here in Middle Georgia. So, like I said, that's the main area of concern. Move this warning off towards the east. That'll get you from Monroe County down towards Taylor County at least, Crawford County. So that's what we are looking at right now. And that's really the only storm we're going to be seeing. This is just a cluster of thunderstorms. It's called an MCS, which means a mesoscale convective system, a fancy word for saying a cluster of thunderstorms. So we started renaming things. We used to call it a squall line for some people, and there's that new warning. So got that new severe thunderstorm warning for Lamar County, Monroe County, Crawford County, the rest of Upson County, and now down into Taylor County. So that is what we are looking at. Let me just check with the weather service to see. Excuse me. To see what the timing is on this. And I want to make sure I get it right. All right, this is going to be for winds of 60 miles per hour, hail to 1 inch, and it's going to be until 10:30. So that's that new severe thunderstorm warning. And again, it includes Lamar County and other counties. So that's what we've been waiting on. That's what we're going to be seeing. And let me just get that push out. But overall, again, continuing to watch this severe weather as it makes its way eastward this morning. just one of those mornings that you have to watch everything carefully, and that's what we're going to be doing the rest of this morning as this line of storms works its way into and through middle Georgia. So buckle up. It's going to be a stormy morning. Like I said, that last warning was till 9:45. This new warning is until 10:30. Like I said, you're just going to see this continue to be shifted off towards the east. So Butts County, the rest of Monroe County, Macon-Bibb County, Peach County, Houston County, around Fort Valley, Warner Robins, the city of Macon itself, get over towards Gray, Milledgeville, Ivy, Gordon. This is going to be heading your way. So you got a little bit of time, but just know this is going to be heading your direction very soon here in the mid-state. So that is what we are dealing with, just a cluster of severe weather for middle Georgia. And again, I'm checking social media, so if you have questions, I will do my best to answer them. We just get a lot of questions. And I want to make sure I'm getting all the proper information out there, making sure the storm is still moving at the correct speed of 65 miles per hour. All right, so again, Thomaston, not quite to Forsyth and Monroe County, but you're going to be dealing with this storm eventually. And like I said, I really expect it to be on the southern side of this storm. So this is what we're going to be tracking. I'll throw the warning actually up there to give you a perspective of what we are looking at this morning. Again, covers a lot of our middle Georgia counties. So here we go. Looking at it, it clips Butts County, but covers all of Lamar County, western portions of Monroe County, including excuse me, Upson County, Crawford County, and then down into Taylor County. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning until 10:30 a.m. Like I said, these storms have been producing tremendous amounts of damage off towards the west. Tree and power issues abound if you go back across central Alabama, the Birmingham area. Like I said, my parents outside the Birmingham area, numerous trees down, power outages, power lines are down on their road. So they're likely going to be without power for days because they live out in the middle of nowhere. But again, that was the first indication that these storms were really producing a lot of damage. And then that has continued as it's made its way through central Alabama. And now it's making its way into middle Georgia. It is now east of Interstate 75, the worst of the storms, but again, down towards Warm Springs, that's where that main core of severe winds is likely, and likely some hail, maybe up to 1 inch in size. That's the size of a quarter. So that is what we are tracking this morning, this cluster of severe storms. And it's not just one storm. This is a several storms embedded in this line, not a congealed line like we typically see, but it's just a cluster of thunderstorms. So that is what we're going to be tracking as it continues to work its way through middle Georgia. So again, checking social media. You got questions? I'm going to do my best to answer any questions you may have. So please ask away, but just know this will be out of here by 1 p.m. That's good news. Will we have additional storms later this afternoon and evening? We'll have to wait and see. I really hope, like yesterday, the morning rain and storms zaps the atmosphere, takes a lot of that energy that's available for these storms, and we won't have redevelopment later today, but we'll just have to wait and see with these storms over the next couple of hours. So that is what we are dealing with in the here and now as we're tracking these severe storms working through middle Georgia. And like I said, lots of damage with these storms, so take these severe thunderstorm warnings very, very seriously this morning. Like you do for tornadoes, small, interior room, away from windows, away from doors. You cannot stay in a manufactured home, a mobile home with these storms coming through. It's great affordable housing, but they offer you no protection from severe weather. So go to a friend's house. Like I said, a lot of people going to be at church this morning. That's a great place. Churches are usually reinforced a lot of times, and plus a lot of churches and schools, fire departments have safe rooms a lot of times now for severe weather. So find somewhere to be as we continue to track this. And this is, I will say, this is a bit concerning. You're seeing this kind of bow out, like a bow and arrow. There's going to be some very intense winds. So Upson County, these are coming into you right now. This is coming into Talbot County, and these will likely be producing winds of 60 miles per hour, could be as high as 70. Like I said earlier, these storms were producing winds of 70 to 80 across central Alabama. That's why they have extensive damage. They've weakened some, but they have not weakened enough. So I'm just going to pull the front edge of this over the next 45 minutes or so to give you approximate time. So again, it is adjusted. This complex of storms moving off towards the east at 65 miles per hour. That's interstate speed, and it's moving in a straight line, so it's moving fast. But here we go. Hannah's Mill, 9:56. Thomaston at 9:58. Thomaston, Upson County Airport, 10:01. You get down towards Barnesville at 10:07. Motox compound, you know, the big dirt bike area out there, 10:10. Muzella at 10:14. Forsyth at 10:19. Mary Persons High School, giving you approximate time at 10:19. Reynolds at 10:24. Lizella at 10:25. You got Bolingbroke at 10:26. And then downtown Macon itself, CD Macon, approximately 10:34. Like I said, that's been pretty consistent. So Macon-Bibb County, 10:30ish, that's when it should be coming through downtown Macon. If you're on the western side of the county, out towards, say, Zebulon, it will be a little bit earlier than that. Again, these are approximate times as well, so keep that in mind as this line of severe storms continues to head off towards the east. And it's not weakening, I will tell you that. You're going to see warnings here in middle Georgia, so just be prepared as we continue to track these storms over the next couple of hours. They'll be in and out of here. That's what we want to see. But as we look right now, lots of wind with these storms, lots of lightning with these storms. And you see where you're seeing these brighter shades of red, that's intense rainfall, maybe some hail mixing in. Not seeing evidence of a lot of hail with these storms. That's certainly some great news. I'd rather have one threat than 2 or 3 threats when it comes to winds, hail, and tornadoes. But very heavy rainfall and tremendous amounts of lightning. When thunder roars, head indoors. These storms are going to be very loud when they come through your location, and this will continue to head off towards the east. It's going to be approaching Highway 19 within the next couple of minutes. Like I said, on the front edge of that brighter shade of red, that's where those very strong gusty winds are going to be. So that's going to be approaching Thomaston very soon. I would say Waverly Hills, Talbotton, you are next in this line of storms. And I know this is Talbot County, here is Upson County. This is going to continue to head off towards the east. And like I said, this is bowing out some. So like a bow and arrow, when you get it bowing out like that, that's usually indications of strong straight line winds. So I would not be surprised if we get some damage up in here. I'll be checking with the EMA directors in that part of the state, see what the weather service is saying as well. But it's just one of those things we're tracking this morning here in middle Georgia. Those strong straight line winds that are going to be producing some damage. So that is what we continue to watch. And like I said, we're going to keep the stream up. We're going to stay on the digital platforms until the threat is over here in middle Georgia. If I step off and grab something to drink, I'll be right back. But I'll try to talk to you as much as possible. And again, just looking at all the other things going on here in Middle Georgia this morning, it's just a busy, busy morning here in the mid-state. And it's only going to get busier as these storms will actually start moving into the core of our viewing area, which is the Interstate 75 corridor. But again, if you're in Upson County, you need to be in your safe place. Lamar County, you as well, because this is going to be a large swath of damaging winds. Not everywhere is going to see the winds, but where you do see the winds, 60, 65 miles per hour, that's going to produce damage. And I will say that the grounds are fairly saturated after recent rains, so it's not going to take a lot of energy to maybe knock some trees down that usually would not come down. So do keep that in mind. A lot of the rains last week have been the issue, so that is what we are looking at currently. Again, checking with what the National Weather Service is saying. Again, Macon-Bibb County, you're going to get a severe thunderstorm warning. I know people are asking about that. That will be coming through with that next warning. So I know the current warning goes until 10:30. Probably about 10:15, 10:20, they'll likely issue a warning off towards the east. So just that is what we are seeing as of right now. But again, very busy this morning, a lot of activities ongoing on the radar, and this is just what we're going to continue to see. And like I said, this is one cluster of storms looking back towards the west. It's quiet in Alabama right now. There's another cluster of storms coming across the Mississippi River following this same complex of storms. This complex of storms came through Little Rock, south of Memphis, between Jackson and Tupelo this morning, moved through the Birmingham area. Lots of damage in the Birmingham area this morning. Tree and power issues galore. Seeing that continue to shift off towards the east. And notice that lightning. The amount of lightning with this storm, it's not decreasing. Usually when you start seeing lightning decrease, that means the storms are weakening. These storms are not weakening right now. So watching this very carefully, be ready to act because we're going to have these severe storms working their way into and middle Georgia the next few hours. So again, 9:57, I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Stinnett covering some severe weather that we're dealing with on this Sunday morning. A lot of people heading to church, maybe a brunch. If you see this line of storms off towards your west, you need to get to where you're going quickly or just hold off for a little while. Let this line of storms pass you by, but it's moving. It's going to be heading towards Forsyth, Macon, Warner Robins, Fort Valley. You're going to be up next in this. That warning's just going to be shifted off towards the east. So the next warning that gets issued, Butts County, probably portions of Jasper County, Monroe County, Jones County, Macon-Bibb County, the rest of Crawford County, Peach, Houston County, Twiggs County, and likely down as far south as Macon County itself, down closer to Montezuma. And again, we don't have a warning in the Columbus area, but these storms look like they're intensifying a little bit, so we may see additional warnings extended off towards the east. So Sumter County, Schley County, Dooley County, Cripps County, just keep that in mind. This is all, it's not moving due east, it's moving a little south of due east, so an east-southeasterly direction, and this is what we're going to be watching. Thomaston, the worst of that weather about to come through your neighborhoods right now. So we'll go in a little bit closer, give you a general idea. So give you some of the communities. Hickman's Forks, it's coming down in buckets right now, down towards Roland. Thomaston, very gusty winds about to move into your area. And I'm actually going to pull up the velocity. Let's see if we can get some of these, get a better idea of maybe how strong some of these winds are. And this is what we are looking at. This is what we want to see, or we don't want to see. But first off, these very strong gusty winds, where you're seeing that brighter shade of green, that's where we're likely right northern Upson County, north of Thomaston, but anywhere along this. Remember, red is outbound, green is inbound. So you're not seeing the tornadic circulations with this. This is a straight line wind event, but when you get those bright colors that close together and you see that definitive line, that's showing you that there's big changes in the wind profile as it's coming through. That's indicative of those strong straight line winds. Now, why it changes colors, for a little farther off towards the east, we're pulling off the Warner Robins radar. Currently, this is the Peachtree City radar up in Peachtree City at the National Weather Service. So again, strongest winds coming through Thomaston as we speak, right along the US Highway 19 corridor, and that stretches all the way down towards Talbotton, as well as Waverly Hall. Looks just to be off towards the east. So up next, Geneva, Barnesville. You're about to get in on some of these winds as well. And again, this warning goes until 10:30 for winds of 60 miles per hour, hail up to 1 inch in size. That's the size of a quarter. That's what makes hail severe. So anything smaller than a quarter in size is non-severe hail, but still that can do some damage. So when you get to quarter size and larger, that's when you get those serious issues. So that is what we are looking at this morning. And there's the Rock, there's Barnesville, Meansville, Zebulon, and then it is now past Gay, Woodbury, and Manchester, the worst of the winds, but you're still dealing with those very, very strong lightning strikes, very heavy rainfall. And again, this is what we're going to continue to track as it moves off towards the east. So just one of those days. And hopefully this pulls a lot of the energy out of the atmosphere where we don't have redevelopment this afternoon. But this is the main cluster from Talbotton up towards Concord. This is going to continue to head off towards the east. So this is going to move right through downtown Macon over the next hour. So just keep that in mind. Moving off towards the east at 60 miles per hour. Like I said, you have the current warning that goes until 10:30. That will be extended eastward. This storm's just not weakening, so we're going to continue to track it over the next few hours. Like I said, by 1 p.m., the threat should be out of here. That's how long that severe thunderstorm watch goes until. So that is what we are dealing with right now. All right, Rita Jones, what about Houston County? You're not included in the watch, but that doesn't mean anything. The storm is actually moving a little off towards the south. You're going to be seeing these storms. So I'll pull out just a little bit and just let you see when you get down to Houston County. Of course, there's Houston, there's Peach County. The storm is kind of tracking this direction, especially the northern part of Houston County. You're going to be included likely in the next severe thunderstorm warning. Again, winds 60 miles per hour. You're going to see tremendous amounts of lightning and heavy rainfall. So be prepared. We'll put a track on this once again. Like I said, this is moving towards the east, southeast at 65 miles per hour. So this thing is moving fast. And I'm just doing on the front edge. That's where usually the highest winds are on the leading edge of this, those brighter shades of red. So this is going to be approximately for the next hour. And again, these are approximate times. So asking about Houston County, Bon Air, approximately at 10:48. So within the next 45 minutes or so, should be coming through by 11 o'clock. You get Dry Branch at 10:43. That gets you over into Twiggs County. Butler at 10:19. Lizella at 10:26. Bolingbroke, of course, where 475 and 75 split in southern Monroe County. That's going to be approximately 10:27. Macon itself, again, 10:30, 10:35, that area. That's really going to be for downtown, western and northern portions of the city. Subtract about 5 or 10 minutes, just depending on your location in Bibb County. The Macon Airport, the downtown, or not the downtown airport, the Macon Regional Airport at 10:38. Warner Robins itself, approximately 10:42. McIntyre, as you get over into Wilkinson County, approximately 11 o'clock. Gordon and Ivy, 10:50 to 10:55, that range. City of Perry, approximately 10:50. And again, this is when you're going to be seeing likely the worst weather, give or take a few minutes. Again, these are approximate times. This can certainly change, but I'm just trying to give you a better idea of when these storms will be working through. And again, even if you don't find yourself under that severe thunderstorm warning, expect a lot of lightning with these storms, very heavy rainfall. But again, the main area of concern, essentially from Hilltop to Thomaston to Talbotton right now, this is about to be moving into Taylor County. It's coming through western Upson County right now. Eastern Upson County, you're about to see this. Then it's going to get into southern portions of Lamar County. western portions of Monroe County and then Crawford County. Like I said, this warning will be extended off towards the east. This current warning goes until 10:30. We'll see it extended. So the next warning likely will go to approximately 11:15, and I expect it to include mainly that Interstate 75 corridor. So if you're on 75 right now, you need to get to where you're going because it's about to get rough, especially from, say, Forsyth down towards Perry. That's where that core area of the storm is going to be coming through. So that is what we're looking at. Hopefully that answers your question, Rita Jones. So Houston County, anywhere from 10:30 to 11, that's when the worst of the weather is going to be coming through, and it looks to be closer to 10:45. So like I said, trying to do my best to answer questions on social media, so please ask away, doing my best. And again, weather's the story right now as we continue to track these strong to severe storms. Like I said, we're going to stay on the digital platforms. If we need to hop on air, of course, we will be on Fox 24 and ABC 16. But we try not to do that unless it's a tornado warning. That's what's required by the FCC. But again, anytime you get a cluster of strong storms coming through, you're very careful. Winds 60 miles per hour. If the storms do begin to increase in intensity, which they could, I could break in on Fox 24 and ABC 16. It just depends, especially with it coming through the heart of our viewing area, Macon, Bibb County, Houston County. This is where we have a core population. So a lot of times people out and about this morning, Sunday morning at 10:06, people are at church. You're out at your Sunday morning brunch. A lot of people have that routine. Be careful. These storms will be coming through. Do not recommend sitting outside. Luckily, we got some light rain moving in beforehand. If you do, or if you are at some of these outdoor eating events or venues, you might want to take those umbrellas down, pull those umbrellas in, because they will go flying when these storms come through. So keep that in mind. Just be prepared. These storms are going to be packing a punch. I like to say that. Lots of wind with these storms, tremendous amounts of lightning. And again, it's from Hilltop to Talbotton and then stretching back towards Columbus. This is that cluster of storms, and this is going to continue to track off towards the east at 65 miles per hour. Again, like I said, I'll be stepping off on occasion to stay hydrated. You get tired talking a lot, but again, this is what we are here to do, keep you informed and up to date. And again, it's 10:07. A lot of people out and about. Got that severe thunderstorm warning. A lot going on here in Middle Georgia this morning. Like I said, a lot of people at church, going out to brunch. Just be careful. Be mindful. A lot of these houses of worship, hopefully you're paying attention to the weather. Like I said, this cluster of storms is responsible for tremendous amounts of tree and power issues back off towards the west. Throughout Alabama. Like I said, these winds were 70 to 80 miles per hour earlier with this cluster of storms. So all right, so we should be getting the new warning very soon. I'm communicating with the National Weather Service office, so go ahead and be prepared. Monroe County, Macon, Bibb County, Peach, Houston County, the rest of Crawford County, you're going to be included in a new warning that's going to be coming out very shortly. So keep that in mind. And the Weather Service continues to mention that southward dive. It's not moving off towards the east or northeast like we see a lot of times. This is moving south of east, so east-southeast. So Forsyth, Macon, Warner Robins, Byron, Fort Valley, Perry, you're going to be up next. Like I said, winds of 60 miles per hour. It doesn't matter if you don't see the winds. You're going to be seeing a lot of lightning, window-shaking thunder. These storms are loud this morning, rolling through Middle Georgia, and they will continue to roll off towards the east at 65 miles per hour. So be prepared. That new warning is coming out very soon, and it will include the city of Macon and the rest of Bibb County. So keep that in mind. Just want everybody to stay aware that these storms are not weakening and they're going to continue to head off towards the east at 65 miles per hour. As we expand out, I'll show you big picture once again. Cluster 1, this is going to be round 2. Hopefully round 2 weakens and the atmosphere really gets worked over this morning here in middle Georgia. We lose a lot of that instability, kind of like what we saw yesterday. We didn't get redevelopment in the afternoon, which was good, but you never know. You just have to wait and see. There's a lot of juice. It's hot, it's humid, it's muggy across middle Georgia, and that is what we have to deal with as of right now. So again, it's just going to be one of those mornings. Take these severe thunderstorm warnings very seriously as we continue to track this cluster of severe storms. Real quick update on the severe thunderstorm watch. This goes until 1 p.m. Even though you may not include it in this watch, doesn't mean you can't see severe weather. Like I said, Houston and Peach County, you are not included in the watch, but you're going to be getting that warning when it gets issued here in just a few minutes. But all the counties you see shaded in pink. And a watch, a lot of times if you read the wording in the watch, it says in and around the watch area. So you need to be on the lookout. Hancock, Washington, Johnson County, Lawrence County, just keep that in mind. You're not included in the watch right now. We could see the watch extended off towards the east and south, certainly possible. But again, you don't have to be in a watch to get severe weather. Just keep that in mind. Peach County, Houston County, this is a perfect example of that because this storm, when that new warning comes out before 10:30, you're going to be included in it. At least the northern parts of Houston County. All of Peach County, I do believe, will be included in that. And again, it's that east-southeastward trend. So from Forsyth, Macon, Bolingbroke, this is going to be working towards Bonaire, Byron, heads up, Fort Valley. This storm is heading your way. Roberta, you're about to get the worst of this weather. Now, it's coming down. There it is. There's that new severe thunderstorm warning. So it does include Monroe County, Jones County, Bibb County, Twiggs County, Houston and Peach County, as well as Macon County. So that's what we are dealing with. So knew it was coming, and that is going to be until 11 a.m. So that new severe thunderstorm warning. And what we will do is I'll pull up the warning graphic real quick just to give you a general idea. We've got this, it auto queries the warning so you can see what it is. And what it is, we'll get closer to this one. So again, goes until 11 a.m. We're going to pull in this one. Severe thunderstorm warning, Crawford, Macon, Peach, Talbot, Taylor, Upson, Bibb County, Houston County. You're included in this warning, portions of Twiggs County as well. So that is what we are looking at as this line of storms continues to work off towards the east. So just give me a second, let me get that warning out. And again, that's going to go until 11 a.m. So all right, so just double checking everything We'll go back to this picture, just give you a general idea. Cluster of strong to severe storms in Thomaston right now. It's working its way into Taylor County, western portions of Crawford County. And you notice that warning, it even shows you that east-southeastward trajectory kind of comes to a point over here near Jeffersonville. So just transpose that. If you're up next, Wilkinson County, Lawrence County, Bleckley, Pulaski County, Dodge County, it's going to be coming right down the Interstate 16 corridor, but it's now just to the west of Interstate 75 coming through middle Georgia as we speak. The main issues with this, it's going to be winds of 65 miles per hour, excuse me, it's moving to the east at 65 miles per hour. Winds of 60 miles per hour are very likely. Again, if we look, it's that leading edge of this bright shade of red. Yes, Talbot County, Upson County, lots of lightning, very heavy rainfall with this, but it's the leading edge a lot of times. This is where those strong straight line winds are most evident. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a track on that, but I want to make sure I'm covering everything with these storms. So looking at Bibb County, yes, you are now included in that warning. And again, I'm about to put a track on that to give you approximate times of when this is going to be arriving. So this is what we are looking at. And again, take these warnings very seriously. Tremendous amounts of damage with this cluster of storms as it came through Alabama, getting damage reports in western Georgia right now. So this has a history of producing damage. Culloden, Roberta, you're up next. So this is what we continue to track. And again, putting a track on it, leading edge. That's what we look for the most intense winds. We're going to track this out for the next 30 minutes. So this is approximately the next 30 minutes. Muzella at 10:17. Muzella, you need to be in your safe place right now. Butler, 10:22. Horns at 10:26, you get Lizella, 10:27. Bolingbroke approximately at 10:29. Then you get Lake Wildwood at 10:30. Middle Georgia State University at 10:32. The shops at River Crossing, of course, up on Arkwright in northern Bibb, 10:34. That 10:36 for Macon, that's going to be for downtown Macon. So if you're east of downtown, or excuse me, west of downtown, out towards Lake Toposophy, it's going to be a few minutes earlier than that. And then you get Mercer University at 10:36, Rutland at 10:38, Buc-ee's, when you get down into Houston County, 10:44, so giving you an approximate time on that. Warner Robins, approximately 10:48 as well. So these are approximate. They can adjust a couple of minutes, but this is what's going to be heading towards the core of our viewing area. And like I said, when it passes the location, it's currently 10:17, those times do come off. But Buc-ee's at 10:44, that's kind of the landmark down in Houston County. So a lot of people always want to know, when's it getting to Buc-ee's? So that is what we are tracking right now. And again, it's a cluster of severe storms that started in Mississippi overnight. It has made its way through Alabama, producing lots and lots of damage, and that continues to shift off towards the east. So very soon, yes, it's already raining in Macon, it's already raining in northern Houston County, but the core of that storm is off towards your west, and that's what's going to be coming through the mid-state here very soon. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up the Mercer camera, spin it around, looking off towards the west. If you remember a few weeks ago is when we caught that wall cloud, as well as that potential tornado that moved through southern Bibb and Twiggs County. Not expecting any tornadoes this morning, but like I said, the amount of wind energy with these storms, it's producing a lot of damage, or it has had a history of producing a lot of damage. So do keep that in mind this morning. Do not let your guard down. Take severe thunderstorm warnings just as seriously as you do tornado warnings. We always say that. People overlook severe thunderstorm warnings, but you can't, especially when it's a case like this, when you've had a lot of damage. So looking off towards the west, this is Mercer University. This is up at the lofts at Mercer Landing. Yes, it's raining here in Macon. 72 degrees, a cloudy gray start to the day, light rain falling. Doesn't look too ominous, but I assure you there is a very strong storm in those clouds, it's going to be working its way towards downtown Macon here very soon. So that is what we are looking at. The Atlanta camera is down, so I wish I could have showed you that when the storms were rolling through. But there's the look at the radar. And again, this is going to be moving through Interstate 75 here very shortly between 10:30 and 10:45. That's when we're going to be looking at this. And it can look like it continues to shift off towards the south a little bit. So just keep that in mind as well. So the storm moving south of east, I know we call that southeast, but an east-southeast trajectory, it's looking more southeastwardly as we look right now. So again, that's what we are dealing with currently. And again, I'm over here looking at what the Weather Service is saying. Actually, they're saying there may be a new watch needed, so keep that in mind. South and east of the current watch, and that's what we are dealing with. Yeah, looking at a lot of damage back off to Troup County, trees on homes. So again, this is urgent. Make sure you're paying attention to these storms as they're coming through. They are producing damage. So just be mindful of that. Keep that in mind. We are watching this line of complex of these strong to severe storms rolling through middle Georgia as we speak. So what we are tracking right now with these storms continuing to match off towards the, really racing off towards the east, southeast, Thomaston, Butler. And again, this is going to be coming through Macon-Bibb County very soon. The worst of the weather is in Taylor County as well as Crawford County as we speak. Looks like, again, it's moving southeast. So the northern part of this warning, still keep it serious. There's a lot of winds with this, but the main area of concern is this brighter shade of red, and this extends back off towards the Columbus area. So we're going to be watching this. Roberta, worst of the weather's coming through you right now. Butler, you as well. So I would say from Bolingbroke down towards Lake Tobosoffke, Macon, Bon Air, Warner Robins, Perry, Byron, Fort Valley. This is where the worst of this storm is going to be coming through here very shortly. Again, lots of damage with this storm in Alabama. We're getting reports from Troup County, Coweta County, lots of damage. So this is the same storm that moved through those areas. It's not weakening. So keep that in mind. We are going to be watching that very carefully. So Lizella, you're up next. It's coming through Muzella right now. Roberta, Reynolds, be in your safe place. Butler, be in your safe place. Fort Valley, go ahead and get in your safe place as well. Byron, you're next. And again, I'm going to put the track on this once again. You can see how these times are adjusting. And again, just that leading edge, that's what we're looking at. This is going to be over the next 30 minutes. So again, Panhandle at 10:24, Silver Dollar Motorsports Park at 10:27, so you're 4 minutes away. Central State Prison at 10:32, Middle Georgia State University, 10:34, Hunt Elementary School. Again, we put landmarks on there to give you a general idea. Excuse me, at 10:35. Buc-ee's at 10:42. The Macon Airport, which is the regional airport, not the downtown airport, 10:39. Warner Robins itself at 10:45. Warner Robins High School at 10:46. Houston County High School at 10:48. Marion at 10:51. And again, approximate times. So be in your safe place. You're saying this is not a tornado warning. Doesn't matter. These storms are producing a lot of damage. And again, we've got to get past that mentality that severe thunderstorm warnings are not as bad as tornado warnings. They are. They produce damage. They can cause loss of life. So do keep that in mind. So that is what we are tracking right now. Worst of the weather. Macon, it's raining. Gray, it's raining. Forsyth, it's raining. Rumbles of thunder. But the core area of concern is right now in Taylor County and Crawford County. That's about to move into western portions of Bibb County. All of Peach County is going to get this storm, and then most of Houston County, and then heads up Twiggs, Wilkinson, Bleckley County. You'll be up next for that next warning. You're just going to see that warning continued, shifted off towards the east-southeast. Like I said, do have that current severe thunderstorm watch until 1 p.m. This will likely get expanded east and southeastward. The Weather Service already suggesting that. The Storm Prediction Center looking at other parameters. So just because you're not in the warning or watch right now, you're likely going to see the watch extended off towards the east-southeast. So keep that in mind for our eastern counties. But like I said, you don't have to be in a watch to get a severe thunderstorm warning. Case in point right now, Macon County, Peach County, Houston County. You're in a severe thunderstorm warning, even though you're not in a severe thunderstorm watch. So do remember that. Always remember that. You don't have to be in a tornado watch to get a tornado warning. Again, looking off towards the west, watching this storm come into Macon itself. Like I said, a lot of light rain out ahead of it. A lot of times we look at that, hopefully will weaken the storm. It's not the case. These storms have a lot of juice with them, a lot of instability. And again, we always say lightning. Look at the amount of lightning the storm is producing. They continue to produce a lot of lightning. It's not weakening. Hopefully it's weakening a little bit, but you want to start seeing lightning decrease. That shows you the storm is losing its intensity. These storms are not losing their intensity right now. So that is what we continue to track as of right now, moving through middle Georgia. Again, I'm checking social media, so all right, Lou up in Monticello, it's just plain rain. You're not included in any warning right now, so you are relatively safe. Can't give you the all clear because there's probably a little bit of wind in here, some lightning, be careful. But as far as Jasper, Putnam County, Hancock County, you're in pretty good shape. It's just plain rain with thunder and lightning mixing in as well. Ronnie, when will it get to Perry? Well, it's going to be approximately about 10:48 or so. So keep that in mind. And again, you notice it's kind of sinking off towards the south more than it's moving off towards the east. So likely going to see warnings for Sumter County, Crisp County, Dooley County, Pulaski, Bleckley County. You're going to be up next. And then it's going to ride that Interstate 16 corridor, likely all the way down to the Savannah area. So hopefully answering questions as best I can. We are everywhere, so. All right, looking on, again, we're on YouTube as well, checking comments. Jared, thank you very much for letting us know. And again, all the damage we're seeing back off towards the west, when you get into Harrell County, back towards LaGrange, Coweta County, it's tree issues. There are a lot of trees down. Seeing reports, again, let me just double check this. In LaGrange, trees, I'm seeing pictures. This is from the EM and emergency manager in Troup County. Trees down on houses. So actually seeing pictures. Lots of trees down, lots of power lines down in Troup County. So again, that's what we're looking at. Again, we're just watching things off towards the west. The emergency managers do an incredible job talking to the Weather Service as well. We're all in this group chat, so we see what everybody else is seeing. We're getting the damage reports. The Weather Service is letting us know what they're thinking on these warnings. And again, we in the broadcast industry are able to relay that information to you as well. But also we get damage reports, and so we relay that information. Case in point, I had to do that this morning. My parents in Alabama, a lot of damage around their house, trees and power lines down. I had to relay that to the Weather Service office in Birmingham. So again, that's what we do. It's all about communication, letting everybody know that we're all on the same page. And again, the page we're dealing with right now, a complex of strong storms moving through middle Georgia. Again, it's intense. There's been a lot of wind energy with this storm. So that is, you're welcome, Judy. Try to get more details about Coweta County, but we'll just have to wait and see. Again, it's not our viewing area, so it's a lot of times we just have to wait and see. All right, Lou, yes. All right, thanks, Lou, for that update from Monticello up in Jasper County. He's saying, sounds really bad up there, a lot of lightning with this storm. And the lightning you see showing up, this is cloud to ground lightning. That's one type of lightning. Then there's cloud to cloud lightning, and that doesn't show up on radar, so do keep that in mind. Even though you may not be seeing a lot of lightning strokes over your location, there's a lot of lightning ongoing with this rain and storms off towards the north, so appreciate that information, Lou. We always like hearing from locations maybe not inside the warning, because this is really what we're focusing on. But like you said, you're up in Jasper County, Monticello. People in Putnam County want to know that. Over towards Lake Sinclair, Lake Oconee. Now, a lot of people were probably thinking about hitting the lake today. I would hold off. It's not a great lake day. Maybe this afternoon we'll get some sunshine, but also this afternoon we may have more storms develop. But like I said, really hope this is like yesterday. This initial stuff will zap the atmosphere, take all that energy out of the atmosphere, and push it off towards or really zap it so it will not allow for redevelopment. And changing the watch a little bit, so let's go back to that watch and give you a general idea. Excuse me, so there it is. Our northern counties. Lou, you're in great shape. Jasper County was dropped out of that severe thunderstorm watch, but now it has been extended off towards the east. Does include Dublin now, Montgomery County, Telfair County, the rest of Middle Georgia, the exception Washington County, Hancock County, Putnam County, Butts County, and Jasper County. You have been allowed to get dropped out. And as soon as this cluster of storms coming through, this watch is going to be canceled. So I would think up next, you're going to start to see Pike County, Lamar County, Upson County, Talbot County. You're going to be out of that warning. So again, or out of that watch as these storms continue to move off towards the east. Starting to hear thunder here in downtown Macon. So the storm getting closer and closer as we watch it moving off towards the east-southeast, and waiting on that radar to reload. And again, that's the worst of it. This is what we're going to continue to watch. These warnings, they're covering so many counties. And the interesting thing about Georgia, the counties are so small. So you get one warning that'll cover 7 or 8 counties. We see that a lot. So I know Gray, Jones County, Monroe County, this stretches back into Lamar County. Yes, you're included in the warning, but really the worst of this weather is just towards your south. You're getting lightning, you're getting some gusty winds, but that core threat is now in Crawford County. It's coming into western Bibb County, and we'll be approaching the Interstate 75 corridor very soon. So this is what we are tracking. Roberta, Zenith, down towards Marshallville, the worst of the weather coming through your neck of the woods right now. Behind the initial wind threat, it's going to be very, very gusty wind, or very, very heavy rainfall, should I say. Tremendous amounts of lightning, maybe some areas of isolated flash flooding. These are tropical downpours. Now, we're not seeing widespread flash flooding because this is moving at a pretty good clip, 65 miles per hour. Storms are moving very fast, but just keeping that in mind as well. A little bit of everything. So, again, I'm going to pull that leading edge. This is what we look for. That leading edge over the next 30 minutes. And this will just show you Lake Tobisoffke at 10:33. So as of right now, that's when the worst of the winds should be coming through your neck of the woods. Fort Valley at 10:35. Middle Georgia State at 10:37. Marshallville at 10:40. Downtown Macon itself, 10:42. So again, that has adjusted. It was 10:35, 10:34 earlier. But again, these are approximate times. It's still going to be hit or miss on some of these times. Northside High School at 10:45, Warner Robins at 10:45. Perry, had somebody asking earlier, Ronnie was asking about Perry, 10:49. Paps, Twiggs County High School at 10:57, and then Jeffersonville at 10:48. Bon Air 10:50. Flat Creek Public Fishing Area, and a lot of people have been out fishing as of late because the weather's been so great. 10:51. Kings Chapel Elementary School at 10:54. And then again, like I said, approximate times. It may be a couple of minutes sooner, could be a couple of minutes later. That is what we are dealing with these storms as they're rolling through the mid-state this morning. A lot of lightning with them. And I say the worst of the weather is now, again, always say that leading edge. So western Bibb County, extreme eastern Crawford County, Peach County, and now getting into Macon County. So that's where those strong gusty winds are. And then you're getting that very heavy rainfall back across Taylor County, the heart of Crawford County, and that extends up towards Culloden this morning. So that is what we are dealing with. Up next, Warner Robins, Byron, Perry, Bucky's, of course, Marshallville, and Montezuma. This is where we're going to be seeing this. And hopefully we're not getting damage with these storms. But like I said, earlier they have been producing damage in western Georgia. So we're just taking these very seriously. And like I said, this is moving off towards the east-southeast. It's going to follow roughly the Interstate 16 corridor once it crosses 75. So heads up, Bleckley County, Pulaski County, Dodge, Lawrence County, Telfair County. You're going to be up next with these storms coming through. That is what we are dealing with in the here and now. So we'll pull up the camera once again and just show you what we are seeing. It's raining. Mercer University doesn't look too ominous, but that's because those clouds have already moved in. Currently 71 degrees, got that northwest wind at 6 miles per hour. And very soon we should start to see a very heavy rainfall and those winds will pick up. We'll look at downtown Macon as well here in a minute. All right, so... All right, Chrissy Harris, can you show the possible timeline for Macon County, please? Absolutely, I will do my best. So let's do that real quick. I'll go back to that. It's coming into Macon County right now, but again, severe thunderstorm warning. That's what we are dealing with until 11. We'll stop that. Depending what part of Macon County you're in, I would say from Ideal to Marshallville, you're getting some of that worst weather, but as we look towards the next few minutes, again, I'll just do this leading edge and approximately over the next 15 minutes, just showing you. Ideal at 10:36, that's right now. Marshallville 10:40, Whitewater Creek Park at 10:41, Barron's Lane 10:44, Montezuma 10:45, Macon County High School 10:47, Henderson 10:52. So that'll get you over into portions of Houston County as well. But again, that covers most of Macon County. So again, approximate times. It'll be out of your county, the worst of the weather, by 11:15. So by 11:15, I think Macon County, you'll mostly be in the clear from the severe weather threat. And like I said, as soon as this cluster of storms comes through, we can give you the all clear because this is it. This is the initial stuff. But from Thomaston to Talbotton back towards the north and west, you're in the clear as far as the severe weather threat. It is just this one cluster of storms. And again, it has kind of, we like to say, has built back towards the south and west. So now it does stretch into, that's going to be Russell County in Alabama, essentially where Phoenix City is across the river from Columbus. So it's just a mess with this complex of storms coming through. And like I said, it is in Peach County right now, so Fort Valley, very soon in Byron, just going to be coming towards the Bucky's area. Again, you get a lot of a higher population core because you're along the 75 corridor, but there's the downtown, there's the regional airport. There's Huber, Warner Robins, Bon Air, rains coming down. The Perry Houston County Airport. There's the city of Perry. So that gets you down to the Georgia National Fairgrounds. Fort Valley, lots of heavy rainfall. The CKB Motocross Park. And then you work up towards Etchaconee Camp. That gets you up into Bibb County as well. Lake Tobesofkee. Tattnall Square Academy, very heavy rainfalls. There's Lake Tobo, Lake Wildwood, downtown Macon itself. I really think the worst of this storm's going to stay just to the south of Macon, which is great. but that's not good news for, say, Warner Robins or Byron. Again, it's right along that leading edge of that brightest shade of red. That's typically where you see those strongest winds, and that is what we are doing with this. So continue to track these storms, working their way off towards the east-southeast. Current warning goes until 11 p.m., and I will pull that up as well. So just give you a better idea of what we're tracking. Again, just got to watch this very carefully. And again, very heavy rainfall with these storms. I'm trying not to put too much information on there. But again, here is the severe thunderstorm warning. Crawford, Macon, Peach, Talbot, Taylor, Upson County. Houston County is included in this. Twiggs County, all of Bibb County, Jones County. And while you're seeing only certain counties, we only put 5 or 6 counties up there. So I think it's 6 is the total we can have up there. And then it's going by essentially the timeline of when the storms will be approaching those areas. So the farther east ones, not included in that. But like I said, as of right now, the worst of the weather, northern Macon County, all of Peach County getting hammered right now, and most of Crawford County. That's now moving into western portions of Bibb County, right along the Interstate 75 corridor. You don't need to be traveling on 75 right now, because you're going to get blinding rain. There's very gusty winds as well, and that's going to be heading towards Warner Robins, Bon Air, Perry itself. And like I said, there's Byron. You zoom in, there's Bucky's, K Road Elementary School, Fort Valley getting some of the most intense rainfall right now. Like I said, that leading edge of those winds, that's going to be coming across 75 as we speak. So general idea, 75, not a good place to be as we speak. Then you work down towards Macon County, Marshallville, from Garden Valley over to Marshallville, not good. Barron Lake, Montezuma, this is heading your direction. Flat Creek Public Fishing Area, Jackson Lake, and then that gets you back into Houston County as well. So it's that leading edge that we are watching with these storms rolling through this morning. And these will continue to push off towards the east-southeast. So again, strong storms, got to work them sometimes, even on a Sunday morning. A lot of people, it's 10:41. A lot of churches are in session across the mid-state. If I wasn't here, I'd be in church this morning, but duty calls sometimes. So this is what we are tracking with these storms coming through the mid-state. It's that core area, tremendous amounts of lightning. Crawford County, Taylor County, Macon County, Peach County, now getting into actually Bibb County itself, and Houston County, and this is going to continue to shift off towards the east. Like I said, it's 10:42. The current warning goes until 11 a.m. You're going to see another warning issued down towards the south and east. So Bleckley County, Lawrence County, the rest of Twiggs County, Pulaski County, you're going to be up next in these storms, including Wilcox County. It should not extend as far as Telfair County just yet, but I think just from Dublin to Eastman to Abbeville to Cordele, that's likely where we're going to see that warning, the next warning issued as these storms come through. Again, looking at Mercer University's camera, looking off towards the west, doesn't look too bad, but again, I really think the worst of the weather passing just south of downtown Macon as far as that severe weather threat. Certainly some great news. We don't want a lot of tree and power issues anywhere, but especially in populated areas where it impacts more people. I know the rural communities, you get a lot of the issues, but a lot of times when we're watching things, we gotta keep an eye on all locations. So here's that first cluster of storms. This would be cluster number 2. This looks like it's moving more off towards the east, which is good news. Will it hold together? We'll just have to wait and see. I really hope this activity drains the atmosphere of that energy. Like we saw yesterday, the morning rain and storms pulled a lot of the energy out of the atmosphere. It could not recover yesterday afternoon to allow for more storms to develop. I'm hoping that's the case today, but we'll just have to wait and see. Once you get this move through, the Weather Service, the Storm Prediction Center will reevaluate the atmosphere. They'll check on the parameters and just let you know that if we are likely going to see more severe storms. It's possible. You'll have a frontal boundary in place, but when you lose a lot of that instability, like we saw yesterday, it's hard for storms to redevelop. But again, worst of the weather, Peach County getting hammered right now. That's coming into Houston County as we speak. And like I said, that new warning will be issued momentarily. And I really think it'll probably be Bleckley County, Pulaski County, down towards Dooley County. So just be prepared looking at that. Again, looking at the social media. So I'm bouncing around, so if I don't see your comment, I'm sorry. I will do my best. Kendra, is it nearing 475 at all? Yeah, 475 is getting the worst of the weather right now. But like I said, the worst of the weather passing south of most of Bibb County. Yes, we're still getting strong storms, but the main severe weather threat is going to be closer to Peach and Houston County, and then south of the downtown Macon area, so really down 75. Hunker down in Dry Branch. Great advice there, Thomas. Yeah, the rest of Twiggs County, this is heading your direction. So Jeffersonville, Dry Branch, and keeping that in mind with these storms coming through. You're welcome, Kendra. Just doing my best to hopefully let people know where some of these worst of this weather is. So again, looking at emails, social media, the weather service, just a lot going on. So if I'm not talking to you constantly or paying attention, I am paying attention. It's just we've got to multitask a lot of times with these storms. So really getting ready for that next warning to be issued. So again, the new warning, or the next warning will be out by 11, and that will be for the rest of Twiggs County. I'll go ahead and say Bleckley County, Pulaski, there it is. So ask and you shall receive. So Twiggs County, Wilkinson County, Lawrence County, Bleckley, Pulaski, Dodge, northern portions of Wilcox County, and Dooley County, as well as Sumter County. So there it is. It's going to be working down that Interstate 16 corridor, and just looking, this new warning goes until 11:30. So after 11:30, you'll see more warnings issued. So keep that in mind. So just a busy morning. Not getting reports of damage here in Middle Georgia as of right now. That's great news. We don't want that. So hopefully these storms have done all the damage they were going to do, but just take them very seriously as we are watching them work off towards the east-southeast at 65 miles per hour. These things are moving fast. So all right, the new warning goes until 11:30. Winds of 60 miles per hour continue to be the main issue. Just reading through what the Weather Service is saying in their warning. The National Weather Service that covers us, it's up in Peachtree City, so essentially Atlanta, they do an incredible job letting us know what they're looking at, what they're seeing, and what they're seeing are still winds likely of 60 miles per hour. Hail up to 1 inch in size is possible, but I'm not seeing a lot of reports of hail so far. That's great news. But that is what we are dealing with as we speak. So just making sure they're not naming any locations. And I hear the thunder here in downtown Macon. Of course, our station's in downtown Macon. It's thundering, it's lightning. It's thundering throughout all of Middle Georgia right now. So all right, just making sure everything's good. All right. Just looking at stuff. Everything is good. Everything is behaving. Everything is stormy. So again, just checking everything. A lot going on. So I'm not paying attention. I am just working so many different other parameters. So again, here is that new warning. Again, does include the rest of Twiggs County, southern portions of Wilkinson County. So McIntyre, you're not included. You're still getting rain and thunder and lightning. Down into Lawrence County does include Dublin, Dudley, Rance, Dodge County, all of Bleckley and Pulaski counties. You get down into Dodge County, or excuse me, Dooley County, down towards Unadilla. And again, this is the area we're going to be watching until 11:30. So new warning goes until 11:30. Again, I'll put a track on that leading edge. It's coming through Warner Robins, Perry as we speak, Montezuma. If we track this out I'm gonna do the next 40 minutes. Again, approximate times. King Chapel Elementary School at 10:52. It's currently 10:50. Ripley, 10:59. Tarversville, 10:56. Elko at 11. Jeffersonville, 11:02. Porter, 11:04. You get down into Danville, you got 11:07. You're starting down into Bleckley County, the city of Cochran, 11:08. Montrose, Hawkinsville, the horse training facility, Lawrence Bennett, horse training facility, 11:15. Barronfield, that gets you over into the Lawrence County itself, 10:21. Rents at 10:23, 10:25 in Dublin, and then Susie Dasher Elementary School at 11:25. So again, approximate times, we are sitting at 10:51 as we speak. So these times will be adjusting. So doing what we can, just giving you approximate times. Severe thunderstorm warning means winds of 60 miles per hour and maybe hail up to 1 inch in size. So again, I haven't been seeing a lot of hail with this, but you never know. You got to be careful. Again, I'm going to see what the weather service is saying. Again, see if they're getting any damage reports. Everything looks good so far. All right. Emergency manager from Talbot County saying several trees down, power outages across the county. So that's Talbot County, Upson County, power poles and lines down in the city of Thomaston. Getting reports of power lines down with fire. Thompson Road, again, that's up in Upson County, and that was about 15 minutes ago, so approximately about 10:30, that's when these reports were coming in. So it does look like these storms have been producing some damage back into Upson County. We'll be getting reports from Crawford County very soon, Peach County very quickly as well. So that is what we are looking at. If we're seeing damage, if you're seeing damage, let us know. Report it. Hit me up on social media, email our newsroom. We always pass that information along to our partners, the emergency managers, as well as the National Weather Service as we're watching these storms roll through. So let us know what you're seeing at your location. They don't tell you this. I'm stuck in the studio, so I don't get to see what's going on outside. I'm diagnosing the radar for you, show you the cameras, but it's not overly impressive in a lot of locations. So we'll pull up the Mercer camera once again, see what we're seeing here in Middle Georgia. Again, we're looking off towards the west. Very heavy rainfall, 71 mile per hour, 71 degrees. Let's not get that confused. And then we'll look downtown itself, see what we're seeing in downtown. Making into the roads are wet, so be careful out and about. The roads are going to be slick. That's one of those things. That's one of the things you have to deal with these storms a lot of times. So, and as we look in downtown Macon, yeah, roads are wet. A little bit of wind. Currently, this is out at the airport. Well, the last observation was northwest at 8. But again, the worst of the weather passing just south of downtown Macon. So that is certainly some great news. I really expect the worst of this weather. It's moving through Houston County as we speak, now getting ready to move over into Twiggs County, Bleckley, Pulaski County. You're up next. So I would say from Rutland down to Warner Robins, very heavy rainfall. Perry, Bucky's along Interstate 75. 75 continues down the Unadilla, and then back through Fort Valley, Marshallville, still getting that heavy rainfall, but it's that leading edge. That's where we have to watch for those strong gusty winds. So that's coming across the Ocmulgee River as we speak, going from Houston County over into Twiggs County. And then as we look down towards Perry, this is what's going to be heading towards Cary as well as Cochran. And then you get down into Pulaski County, Hawkinsville. So that is what we are watching with these storms. Downtown Macon, just rain right now. The worst of the weather is to the south of you. I would say the most intense part of the storm is going to be from Rutland down towards the south. So Dry Branch, you're dealing with rain, lightning, and thunder. Jeffersonville, you're going to be getting clipped by the northern part of this worst part of this storm. As we look off towards the north, giving you Jackson, Monticello, Eatonton over towards Sparta. It's raining, it's thundering, it's lightning, nothing severe. The same for Jones County, Baldwin County, Washington County. Most of Wilkinson County, you're going to be A-OK as far as the severe weather threat. Still getting that heavy rainfall back towards the west, from Griffin towards McDonough. So if you're heading up towards 75, not a good day for that either. So you always know the parking lot from Locust Grove to McDonough, no reason for it. Traffic is always horrible along 75 going towards Atlanta, and then it just opens back up. So 75, not a good drive today. 16 is not going to be a good drive. If by chance you've got to make it down to Savannah today, you should have already left, because this storm is going to be working its way right down the 16 corridor all the way to Savannah, I would say. So just going to be, hopefully you're not dealing with that. But the core threat of this, southern Bibb County, right over all of Houston County, Peach County, and Macon County, and then up next, like I said, Twiggs County, Bleckley County, northern portions of Pulaski County. That's where we're going to be seeing the worst of this weather over the next few minutes. And it's 10:57. The warning you see for Bibb County, or western Bibb County, back through Taylor County, this is going to be expiring at 11 a.m. So that is what we are dealing with this storm as we speak. So watching that carefully. All right. Just checking on some stuff. What I'm going to do is, I know people are watching on Fox 24. Take the watch down just so the warnings are streaming. So again, got a lot of different things we're working with over here. So just be patient. Just trying to get through this as we continue to watch all this stuff. But yeah, severe thunderstorms continue to work their way through middle Georgia as we speak. Very heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning with these storms, gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour. Again, looking at the chat, not seeing damage reports in Crawford County or Taylor County right now. That's certainly some good news. Still looking at those damage reports in Talbot and Upson County. So again, the storm has produced some damage, but this is what we are dealing with as we speak, as we continue to track these storms moving through middle Georgia. And again, lots of lightning. Tornado threat almost zero. So this is not a tornado threat, but just know these storms have had a history of producing damage, and then, like I said, tremendous amounts of damage back across Alabama with the same complex of storms. but now it's working through middle Georgia. Not as intense as it was, but still, it is within severe criteria. And again, that's winds of 60 miles per hour or 58 miles per hour or greater. And then hail up to 1 inch in size. So again, just what we were looking at this morning here in middle Georgia. Crystal, Macon County, I'll give you the best. You're getting the worst of the weather right now in Macon County, 11 o'clock. So good news is that warning for most of Bibb County. Peach County, you are now out of the warning. Northern Macon County is out of the warning. It's just this one warning we're tracking. And like I said, middle Georgia counties, or Georgia counties, are very small compared to other states. So a warning in other states may cover 1 or 2 counties. They can cover about 8 counties in Georgia. So again, this is what we are dealing with. Downtown Macon, yes, you're still included in the warning. Severe weather threat is not an issue for you. North of Macon, west of Macon, you're in the clear as far as the severe weather threat. Yes, it's still raining, it's still thundering, it is still lightning, but the severe weather threat is really over Houston County right now and Macon County, making its way into Twiggs County and eventually Bleckley and Pulaski County. You're the next counties up, as well as Dooley County. So Unadilla, that's you're up next. And again, severe thunderstorm watch goes until 1 p.m. I would think soon you're going to start to see most of these counties off towards the west of Macon cleared from this watch. This is this initial severe weather threat. And like I said, I really hope this zaps the atmosphere. It takes a lot of the energy out of this atmosphere where we don't have to deal with this round of storms number 2 coming through. So that is what we are looking at right now as we continue to track these storms moving through middle Georgia. Again, morning storms a lot of times can drain the atmosphere, so you don't get that redevelopment, but sometimes you do get that redevelopment if you get enough sunshine, the heat, and humidity. So that's what we're looking back farther towards the west. Like I said, these storms in Mississippi, we'll keep an eye on today. If they hold together and the atmosphere can support it, those will be in here about 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon in the evening. Just getting a lot of updates on our Skywatch weather app. Lightning very close nearby. And again, you see it's Houston County. It's really under the gun right now. That's where that brightest red is. That's showing very heavy rainfall. The brighter shades of red, that's the more intense part of the thunderstorm as far as the amount of rain falling. You see all that lightning with this storm. So Perry down towards Unadilla. You're getting over towards the Ocmulgee River. It's crossing over into Twiggs County, about to be making it into Bleckley County as well as Pulaski County. So that is what we are dealing with. Just a heads up, Cary, Cochran, Hawkinsville, Wallace, Finlayson, you're up next. But like I said, the worst of the weather about to be coming through Tarversville, Royal, Cochran, Bold Springs Nursery. I know a lot of people know where that is. A lot of great plants they put down there. Zooming in a little closer, Middle Georgia Technical College, Pulaski County Correctional Facility. You're going to be seeing this storm here very shortly. Then you slide over towards Dooley County, Dooley State Prison, right there just north of Unadilla. Very heavy rainfall coming through. Emmerich, just to the west of 75. And then you get down towards the rest of Dooley County. That gets you down towards Vienna. And then when you go up towards the north, lots of rain and storms. Jeffersonville right now to Bullard, District Path, Danville, Myrick's Mill off towards the north of that. Not severe particularly, but really down here towards Tarversville. So US 23 is going to be under the gun here very shortly from Bullard towards Tarversville. That'll take you down towards Cochran. And then here's Interstate 16. So Interstate 16 not going to be a great drive over the next few minutes. Like I said, lots of heavy rainfall, lots of lightning throughout Houston County. Houston County, Houston Lake Country Club, Veterans High School. There's Bon Air right now. Houston County High School, the warning is east of you, but then you get down towards the Georgia National Fairgrounds. That puts you in Perry, and hear the rain hitting the roof. So very heavy rainfall in downtown Macon as we speak, but the worst of the weather is now south of us as far as the severe weather threat. But we'll look outside, see what we're seeing here in downtown Macon. Lightning, heavy rainfall, not a lot of people out and about. That's always good news. Last reported wind gust northwest at 26 miles per hour. Again, a lot of people probably at church this morning. It is Sundays in the South. A lot of brunch places. I know a lot of people are probably crammed inside. No one's sitting outside today because of these storms. Again, that is what we are tracking with these storms moving through middle Georgia as we speak. Again, not as intense as they were earlier. That's certainly some great news. That's what we want to hear, and that's what we want to see. But still, enough of a threat, especially in that core area from Warner Robins down towards Unadilla, Houston County, now getting into Twiggs County. This is the worst of the weather. This is where that most intense part of the storm is. And again, this warning currently goes through 11:30. We'll see another warning issued off towards the east and likely south. So heads up Wrightsville. From Wrightsville down towards the south, I think that's where you're going to see it. So Soperton, McRae, Helena, excuse me. I get it confused because I have a Helena in Alabama. We have Helena in North Georgia. So Telfair County, we'll just say that. Abbeville, getting down towards Cordele as well. And then that'll get you over towards Lumber City and Glenwood when you get down into Wheeler, as well as Montgomery County. And then, of course, Vidalia, where you see all the onions grown. So that is what we are dealing with as we speak. Off towards the north, it's rain, it's thunder, it's lightning. For our northern counties, no severe weather threat. You have actually been removed from the severe thunderstorm watch. So Lake Sinclair, Lake Oconee, you're A-OK. You're just going to be dealing with this rainfall, the lightning and thunder. That includes you in Forsyth, Gray, over towards Milledgeville, Sandersville. You're okay. It's just going to be a wet Sunday morning, and this will continue through the next couple of hours. But there's the backside. So the rain is essentially over with in Upson County, soon to be in Pike and Lamar County. Butts County, you'll be on the back edge of that rain very shortly. Even in Bibb County, the rain going to be decreasing in intensity here over the next couple of minutes as the storm threat really shifts off towards the south and east. And again, that is what we are dealing with these storms as we approach the midday hours. It's 11:07 right now. Current warning goes until 11:30, and it's essentially for if you're along Interstate 16 and Interstate 75, just not a great time to be out and about this morning. Heads up, Bleckley, Pulaski County, you're next with this main core coming through. So that is what we are tracking. Seeing what the Weather Service is saying about maybe issuing more warnings, more watches. Good news is they're expiring a lot of stuff, so that's what we like to see. And I love not seeing any damage reports from here in middle Georgia. As far as Crawford County, Peach County, this came right through these areas, so not getting damage reports, so hopefully these storms continue to weaken. But yeah, a lot of wind damage earlier with these storms. Upson County, back towards Troup County. But like I said, hopefully these storms have continued to weaken, and maybe that's what we are seeing. And that's great news. We don't want to deal with these severe storms. So, all right. Pairs, Joey? Yeah. Warner Robins, Perry, Bon Air getting hit very hard right now with heavy rainfall, lots of lightning. Byron, worst of the weather should be just to the east of you. So Byron, everything will start improving here very shortly, as well as Warner Robins. City of Perry as well. And like I said, it's this main area from Perry, Bon Air, mainly south of Warner Robins now. Here's Elko. It's Twiggs County, Bleckley County, Pulaski County. So Hawkinsville, Cary, Cochran, You're getting the worst of this weather, Tarversville as we speak, and then you get up towards Interstate 16, that's the Danville area. And then if we continue down 16, of course, you get over towards Dublin and Dudley. So this is Lawrence County. You get Dexter, Rents, Cadwell, Chester, and then you get Wallace and Pulaski County. And that's what we're dealing with these storms. Again, gusty winds right along this leading edge. So US 23, US 129, and then down towards Unadilla. This is the main area of concern is we have this bowing segment. And like I said, it looks like a bow and arrow. So that's where a lot of times that's an indication of these strong, intense winds. And then just showing you approximate times over the next 20 minutes or so of when you can expect to see these winds. So it's 11:10 right now. That's impacting the Taylor Regional Medical Center. Cochran at 11:11, Cary at 11:15, Cochran Municipal Airport 11:15, Ratty at 11:17, or excuse me, is that Roddy? Yonkers 11:17, Roland 11:21, Dodge High 11:26, and then Cadwell at 11:28. Again, approximate times, we're at 11:10 right now, give or take a couple of minutes with these storms coming through. And then you see down towards Gooseneck. This should stay in mainly northern portions of Pulaski County. All of Bleckley County is going to be seeing this, and then northern portions of Dodge County are going to be seeing the worst of this weather. So that is what we are tracking with these storms this morning, and that's going to be going through Lawrence County as well. So like I said, the current warning goes until 11:30. I'll just go ahead and tell you I fully expect them to issue the warning off towards the east once again. So if we're going by what we've seen in the past, the rest of Dodge County, Telfair County, Wheeler, Montgomery, Treutlen County, rest of Lawrence County, and likely the rest of Wilcox County, you'll be included in the next warning. But that's still about 20 minutes away. Worst of the weather is right along and east of Interstate 75 in Houston County, down towards Unadilla, northern Pulaski County, western portions of Bleckley County, but this will be moving through Bleckley County. It's in southern Jefferson County, southern Twiggs County, all this south of Macon, so that's certainly some good news. So that's going to be working its way off towards the east-southeast. So that is what we are dealing with as we speak, the worst of that weather. Again, just seeing what the Weather Service is seeing on these watches and warnings. Let's see. Hey, Janet. Sorry, I don't have access to the Perry Fairground camera. That's not on our network, so I don't have access to that. But I know it's rocking and rolling down in Perry at the Georgia National Fairgrounds right now. A lot of lightning, heavy rainfalls. I forget what's going on down there this weekend. There's always so many great events happening at the Georgia National Fairgrounds, so keep that in mind. Hopefully everybody's safe down there. And again, just checking social media, checking what the Weather Service is saying. All right. All right, looks like getting reports out of Meriwether County. So these storms are well to the east of Meriwether County now, but a lot of damage back off towards the west. So these storms, like I said, have produced damage, but we're not getting anything in Middle Georgia right now. Certainly some great news. Again, you have a high population core from Macon down towards Perry. If you're getting damage, we'll be hearing about it very quickly. But again, we're in constant contact with the Weather Service as well as the emergency managers, and not seeing any reports from those, say from Peach County, as well as Crawford County, Bibb County, Houston County. Now, I know the worst of the weather's over Houston County right now. Here's an update to the watch. counties being removed. This is what we want to see. So everything off towards the east from Upson County, Monroe County, Jones, Baldwin County, you have been removed from this watch. I would expect the next removal of the watch to essentially be Bibb, Crawford, Taylor County, and then that'll continue. This watch will not be in effect till 1 p.m. They just always issue that. Again, just checking stuff, getting updates. So that is what we are dealing with right now. And again, just looking at my phone to see what's going on. We get a lot of information, view some of the apps. So that is what we are dealing with. So again, one severe thunderstorm warning covering about 8 counties in middle Georgia. And this has been a persistent MCS. That's what we call a mesoscale convective system. And it's a cluster of thunderstorms. That's what we call that. So it has been producing damage. We got damage in Upson County, back into Talbot County, Meriwether County, Troup County, Coweta County. So this storm on its trajectory has been producing damage. Now, we haven't got anything in Crawford County or Taylor County, Macon-Bibb County. No reports from Peach County as we speak, but we're constantly checking with that. And just to see what's going on. So again, that is what we are looking at essentially here in middle Georgia as we speak. So one severe thunderstorm warning covering about 8 counties. And again, this warning will probably get trimmed down soon. That most intense part of this thunderstorm has really kind of condensed. And I think the new warning will be Interstate 16 corridor down towards Telfair County. We'll likely see the warning continue south towards the rest of Sumter County, Crisp County, Dooley County. You're going to be getting some of these strong gusty winds, but like I said, it's that leading edge of this complex of storms as it works its way off towards the south. And you notice it's moving east, south, really south of east now. So mainly a southerly component as it continues to move off towards the east. And like I said, this is going to continue to ride off towards the south and east, all the way likely down towards Savannah. So by chance, you got to head towards Savannah. Give it a little while. Hopefully, if you've already left, you can be out ahead of this. But if you haven't left yet, just know this is going to be going with you. It's going to be moving at 65 miles per hour. So it's going to be with you the entire way down towards the Savannah area, if you are heading that way. Good news is, looks good. Starting to see the rain taper off in our western counties, looking relatively dry along Interstate 85 from Auburn to LaGrange up towards the Atlanta area. But again, we got to continue to watch these storms right now. Now, in our eastern counties, it's raining, thunder, lightning, no severe weather threat. You're actually been removed from the severe thunderstorm watch, so you're good. Just give the rain a little bit of time. This rain will get out of here, especially if you're up on the lakes this weekend, Coney, Lake Sinclair. I know huge destinations when you get into the warmer time of year. Just be careful. If you can hear thunder, you can be struck by lightning. That's why we always say when thunder roars, head indoors. Just be careful. Still, you may be hearing it through my microphone. A lot of rumbles here in middle Georgia, a lot of thunder even in downtown Macon, even though the worst of the weather is to the south and east of us. But still, heavy rainfall, lightning strikes, and again, these are just cloud to ground lightning. You're not picking up the cloud to cloud lightning. There's a lot more cloud to cloud lightning than there are cloud to ground lightning strikes. So again, you may not be seeing the bolts over your location, but I promise you all of this area, hearing thunder, seeing lightning. But again, these cloud to ground lightning strikes, those are the ones we're most concerned with because those can hit a tree, those can hit your house and cause a fire and stuff like that. So just keeping that in mind. Again, checking with the Weather Service, looking good as far as the overall not seeing tons of damage coming in. So in middle Georgia, that's what we want to see. Hopefully we make it through this without any issues. Like I said, we've got damage reports in Upson County, Talbot County, Meriwether County, back towards Troup County. So the storm complex has a history of producing a lot of damage. Like I said, when it came through Alabama, specifically the Birmingham area, winds of 70 to 80 miles per hour, tremendous amounts of damage over that way. That's why we were like, we got to take this serious, because if it's produced damage in the past, it can still produce damage if it's ongoing. So that is what we are watching with these storms. And again, hopefully we get through the next couple of hours with no issues here in middle Georgia. But as we really look, Bleckley County, northern Pulaski County, southern Houston County, you're under the gun with this. That even extends into portions of Twiggs County. It's going to be working over into Dodge County as we speak as well. So this is where we're seeing the most intense part of this storm. And notice, yes, it still looks intense, but you don't have that bowing segment you did earlier. This is not that clear defining line that we saw with this earlier. So maybe the winds are continuing to weaken in this, and maybe we don't even see a severe thunderstorm warning issued off towards the south and east. But again, we have to watch this very carefully. Still a lot of lightning with this, and it looks like the core, the main core of this thunderstorm, right over northern Pulaski County. Maybe some hail just to the south and east, or south and west of Cochran. So this is what we are looking at. This is Pulaski County. This is Bleckley County. Maybe some reports of hail, some larger hail here. And then as you get towards the Bold Springs Nursery, a little bit of hail trying to show up there as well. And again, hail to be severe is 1 inch in size. What is that? Size of a quarter. That is what 1 inch in diameter size hail is. There's Hayneville. This is Houston County, so the worst of the weather trying to make its way out of Houston County. And I said the most intense part of this storm is from Hawkinsville to Cochran to Royal, back towards Bold Springs Nursery, northern Pulaski County, portions of Bleckley County, and then that's going to be heading over towards Dubose as we head into Dodge County, Chester, Roddy, that gets you into Dodge County, and even up into Rowland. That's that northern tip of Dodge County. So that's the worst of the storm moving through right now. Looking back towards the south and west, Macon County, you're still getting rain and thunder, maybe some gusty winds. Andersonville and Sumter County. Plains, of course, where the late Jimmy Carter's from. Rain's just now moving into your area, as well as Americus. Ellaville getting some heavy rainfall. Unadilla, you've been sitting on this edge. It looks like the worst of the weather moving off towards the east of you. So from Unadilla to Byronville to Vienna, still raining. You're getting thunder and lightning, but the worst of this weather is off towards your east. As we continue to look off towards Wallace and Finlayson, this is the southern part of Pulaski County. This is northern Wilcox County. So here's Rochelle, there's Abbeville, Chauncey. This gets you on the edge of the warning. Eastman, there you go. There's the downtown Eastman. This is storm is heading your direction. And again, it's kind of pointing to where it's heading. So Eastman over towards Chester, you get towards Highway 319. That's going to get you towards Rents, as well as Cadwell, Dexter. Here's Dublin up here. There's Dudley, so you're up on the Interstate 16 corridor. But again, you got the Pulaski County, the Bleckley County part of this storm, and now it's getting into Dodge County with those gusty winds and maybe some hail. Again, it's 11:22. The current warning goes until 11:30. So we're going to see if it gets extended, and if it does, I would think it's going to be for the rest of Lawrence County, Telfair County, Wheeler, maybe into Montgomery County, southern Dodge County, and Wilcox County. Again, this complex of storms kind of moving in this direction. So McRae, just be a heads up. You may not get a severe thunderstorm warning. We're not getting damage reports from this like we were earlier, so hopefully that's a sign of weakening. And the winds don't look as intense. I've been looking at some of the velocity products on my phone. Winds aren't as intense as they were earlier. That's certainly some great news. So we'll keep an eye on it. Like I said, it's 11:23. The current warning goes until 10 or 11:30, and we'll see if that maybe gets extended off towards the south and east. All right, Thanks, Big Juicy. No lights in Fort Valley, so it looks like we got some power outages. And what I'll do is I'll pull up the power outage index to see how the power outages are showing up in here in Middle Georgia. And again, this is data. Ignore the blacked out in Crawford County. That's just bad data as we speak. For some reason, it didn't color in. But you do see there are some counties. If Crawford County was colored in, it would be yellow. But as of right now, Upson County, approximately 3,000 meters without power. That gets down into Houston County, almost 1,300. So this is where that main core has been moving through. And it looks like some of the power outages kind of show you the path of that. So again, there are some power outages throughout Middle Georgia. Crawford County, Taylor County, Peach County, Big Juicy down in Peach County just reported that in Fort Valley. So I will believe him because it's over 1,000 outages being reported in the Fort Valley area and all of Peach County. So we'll likely continue to see this extended. Probably we'll get some of Twiggs County as well as Dodge County, Bleckley County, as well as Pulaski County, since that's where that core thread is. So again, let us know on social media what you're seeing. If you've lost power, if you've got any trees down, let us know, because again, we relay that information to our newsroom as well as the National Weather Service office. But I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing with this storm. It's still producing a lot of lightning, but it's not as intense and it's not as big as it was. So hopefully this storm is weakening, and we're going to see if this warning, which I think they're going to go ahead and issue another warning, but we're just going to wait and see. So and just looking at the weather service. Like they said, it looks less impressive. That's certainly some good news. But they still say it's bowing out enough that there's likely some damaging winds along with that. And they're going to do another severe thunderstorm warning, and that's what we're going to be looking at. So I'll go ahead and tell you your new severe thunderstorm warning is going to be essentially this area. So we should get that within the next couple of minutes. So probably Montgomery, Wheeler, the rest of Lawrence County, Telfair County. Again, it's this bowing segment and just riding parallel to Interstate 16. So a new warning is upcoming for that. I'll go ahead and get you ready for that. So that's from the National Weather Service. So, and that should be out any moment because the current warning goes until 11:30. So the new warning, this warning's going to get cut down a lot too. So it will not be as many counties as what we were seeing earlier, but you're still going to get these counties down in our southwestern or southeastern counties. And that'll probably take us till noon or maybe 12:30. So just waiting on them to issue that warning, and there it is. You see it. Rest of Lawrence County, Telfair County, Wilcox, Southern Dodge County, and Wheeler County. Doesn't include Montgomery County. So there is that new warning. So just double checking on it. See the specifics. It's going to be until 12:15, and they said by then it should be out of our viewing area or out of the coverage area. So that is great news as the storm continues to rapidly push off towards the south and east. It's 65 miles per hour, still moving very fast. So that is what we are looking at All right, so this should be our last severe thunderstorm warning with this complex of storms. So that is certainly some great news. Weather Service pretty confident that the storm continues to weaken, but they said do not let your guard down because it's still bowing out some. So where you get this bowing segment, that's where you could have those winds of 60 miles per hour. That other warning just expired. So current warning extends from Vienna to Finleyson to Hawkinsville. Cochrane, you're right there on the line towards Cary. Cadwell, Eastman, Telfair, all of, well, most of Telfair County, and extends from McRae down towards Jacksonville and all of Wilcox County and portions of Wheeler County. So as the storm continues to push off towards the south and east, that is what we are seeing. So again, one severe thunderstorm warning now for middle Georgia. And again, it's for this complex of storms over Hawkinsville and Cochrane. It's going to be moving into Eastman as we speak, and that will continue to drop off towards the south and east. So putting it into animation to show you the history of this storm as it was working its way through our western counties, then through our middle Georgia counties. And in fact, the rain not too far from ending here in Bibb County. Rain's tapering off Lamar County, and rain is over with in Upson County, most of Crawford County, into Taylor County. So we're getting a break in the activity. Still rain, thunderstorms up across our northern counties, south of Interstate 20, Jasper, Putnam, Hancock County, Baldwin, Washington, Wilkinson County. You're dealing with these storms, but main area of concern is this cell. It's really, I would say the worst of it is, as far as the rain and lightning, Bleckley County and Dodge County and into Pulaski County. Now, along this leading edge, we can still see those winds of 60 miles per hour. That's stretching over towards Cadwell right now and Rents. But again, it's this new severe thunderstorm warning. Again, this goes until 12:15, and it will continue. It will get the storm to our southeastern counties. So there's the specifics on it. 12:15, Bleckley, Dodge, Lawrence, Pulaski, Telfair, and Wilcox County. And again, that goes until 12:15 this afternoon. So right now we're at 11:32. And so we got about 45 minutes left on this warning, working its way off towards the south and east. And like I said, this has been a very strong storm earlier today, producing a lot of damage. Just looking at what the Weather Service is saying, seeing what the EM directors are saying, emergency managers. Like I said, good news is we're not getting reports of damage in Bibb County, not seeing any reports of damage in Houston County, so hopefully no issues. I'm sure, like I said, there are some power outages, and we can see that on our power tracker. But nothing too crazy out there. Like I said, that core of that storm went right through here, and we may see additional outages being reported. This updates every 15 minutes, I do believe. So again, totals have already come down in Upson County. It was near 3,000. It's down to 2,200 in Upson County. Increase, or Crawford County 2,200. Houston County's come down by about 300. It was at 1,900. It's now down to 1,600 outages, and Peach County 1,200 outages. So again, storm looks like it's weakening, but we're going to continue to stick with this as long as we need to. If we look at the convective outlook to see if This has been updated. Okay, so this is from this morning. We did have a level 2 threat for a little while, but we already had the watch. So this will get updated at 12:30, and we'll see if we're going to continue to have that severe weather threat this afternoon. Hopefully not, and that would be some great news. For tomorrow, still going to be dealing with some severe weather, maybe in portions of middle Georgia, so keep that in mind. Then we get to Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be an interesting day. Already got a level 3 risk for severe weather off towards our north and west. That's going to be that cold front. Now that will come in here on Wednesday. I'll go ahead and say we'll probably have severe weather on Wednesday. So I'll go ahead and prepare you for that. It's going to be a strong cold front. That's why we think we're going to be pretty confident on seeing severe weather. But once that front comes through, next weekend is Memorial Day weekend, and we're going to see beautiful weather. Maybe some highs back in the 70s, lows in the 50s, probably that last cool snap before we get into that sultry summer across middle Georgia. So keep that in mind. This is Tuesday, a level 3 risk for severe weather off towards our north and west. Does extend into Georgia, but I think Wednesday morning, that's when we could be dealing with that severe weather here in the mid-state. No formal risk area right now, but when you get a level 3, 3 days out, you just kind of move that down, and that'll give you a general idea of what we'll be looking at. But got to look at the one of the models that we're going to see. The short-range models have really struggled with these MCSs, so see if it gets redevelopment this afternoon. Well, I'm liking that. So it's a little off on the timing right now, but it's not showing any redevelopment this afternoon into the overnight hours. Let's see. I like that. Hopefully these storms this morning have really worked over the atmosphere and we're not going to see anything. Let's look at another model and see how it's handling this. That's already off, so we know that's not going to happen. So again, models are only good for general ideas, and the general idea on this model is it's bad right now. I just don't see that happening. But it has backed off the evening stuff and redevelopment. So I really think this may be it for today for us in middle Georgia. Of course, we'll be keeping an eye on things. But I really think the severe weather threat will be pretty much done with after this morning complex moves through. Like we saw yesterday, the atmosphere got worked over early in the morning with that rain and thunderstorm activity, and the severe weather threat did not materialize during the afternoon. I think we could see that today. Let's hope for that. Hopefully this is our only round of severe weather we're going to be dealing with. But again, heavy rainfall off towards the north. Rain beginning to taper off in Bibb County, and we continue to track this one severe storm as it's working its way really into Dodge County right now, southern Lawrence County. And we may see one more warning issued. I'll go ahead and just say that. The way this storm's moving, Montgomery, Wheeler County, the rest of Wheeler County may get included in one more warning. And then as it drops off towards the south, that gets you down into the Charleston and Jacksonville Weather Service offices coverage area, as well as the Savannah TV market. But again, worst of the weather about to move through Eastman as we speak. From Eastman to Cochran along 23, it's probably very heavy rainfall, that blinding rain, even up towards Interstate 16. Travel not advised, especially through southern Lawrence County. And like I said, hopefully the worst of this weather is going to stay south of 16, but that's going to track all the way towards the Savannah area as well as Brunswick. That's the main concern. Not seeing anything back towards the west. Birmingham, central Alabama's looking good. There's that next complex of rain and storms. We'll see. We'll see if it makes it. Good news is not seeing any warnings over there like we were earlier, but you have to watch everything very carefully. So, but again, the main concern continues to be Dodge County from Chester to Cadwell to Eastman, and then southern Lawrence County. This is where we're likely seeing some of those stronger winds, and that could be extending from Eastman down towards northern Wilcox County to near Finlayson. some of that gusty wind. So I'll put the track on that here as well. Always say it's that leading edge when it comes to these damaging wind events. Sure, you're going to get into the heavy rainfall and all the lightning behind the initial threat, but here's over the next 20 minutes some of the locations. Okay, 11:39, so 1 minute away from the Dodge County Public Boat Ramp. Godwinsville, 11:43. South Dodge Elementary School at 11:40. Chauncey at 11:47. J. Bird Springs 11:48. Little Oak Mulgee 11:53. Little Oak Mulgee State Park. Telfair Wheeler Airport 11:54. McRae at 11:55, and then Stuckey. That's going to be down at 11:58. So again, this is the worst part of that storm. We are tracking approximate times of when those possible damaging winds will be working through your location. So that is what we are working on, or tracking right now. Like I said, good news is the storm's not as intense as it was. We're not getting damage reports in Houston County. That's great news. We always want to see that. We should get an update to the watch very soon. Likely the rest of, or should I say, a lot of the middle Georgia counties will be moved from it. Like I said, the current watch goes until 1 p.m. The storms are going to be out of here by 1 p.m. So that is certainly some great news. Just looking at things. Right, checking social media. Cochran got hit hard. All right, Mike Smith, thanks for letting us know. You got any damage reports to report? Let us know. Was it just the wind and thunder and lightning, or are you seeing any damage? That would be great to know, please. Bambi, while at the wind. Yes, the winds were the main issue with that. So please let us know if you're seeing any damage with these storms as they're coming through. Like I said, not getting a ton of reports. Let us know if you're seeing power outages at your location, where you are. If you're in Bleckley County, Dodge County, maybe you're in Eastman, Finleyston, Cochran, let us know. Need that information so we can pass it along. So, all right. Looking at YouTube now. Judy, hopefully we don't have to deal with that second round of storms. I like the models are not showing that now, because I really think this early morning stuff, or this morning stuff, is taking care of a lot of the energy in the atmosphere. But let's get this out of the viewing area, and then we'll start reevaluating how the atmosphere looks. And like I said, the National Weather Service will get a new severe weather outlook at approximately 12:30. Maybe they remove us from that severe weather outlook because the atmosphere has been really zapped of its energy. So that's what we're hoping for. Like yesterday, hopefully the morning stuff takes care of the afternoon stuff, and we see that a lot of times. So, all right, Rebecca Vasquez, thank you for letting me know. Warner Robins and Bonaire, trees are falling in some places without lights. Thank you. Still, that's good information. If you could be a little bit more specific, that would be great too. But yeah, that kind of information is what we need. Like I said, we're in the chat with the Weather Service as well as all the emergency managers across Middle Georgia, and we're waiting to see what they're reporting. Like I said, some of those earlier damage reports in our western counties from emergency managers. So if they're reporting it, we know it's happening as well. So, but viewers, you let us know as well. Email us, let us know. You got pictures, we would love to see them, only if it's safe though, and that's why we always say, especially when we're going into big time severe weather events, be safe, but we'd love to see. If you're seeing any damage, share your weather photos with us. If you got some crazy wind video or something like that, if it's safe, share those videos with us. You can do it two ways. You can scan that QR code right there. That'll take you to the Chime In app, or chime in, and that will let you share your weather videos or whatever else you're doing. It doesn't just have to be weather. We always like to see what people are doing for holidays. Mother's Day was last weekend, of course. You got Memorial Day coming up. Hard to believe next weekend is Memorial Day weekend. Love to see how you're going to be enjoying your Memorial Day across the mid-state. Let us know. You can do it by scanning that QR code, or you can also go to wgxa.tv/chime in, and you can share your videos and photos that way, and you'll show it off here on air. So if you do have damaged photos or anything like that, or you're having fun and some beautiful weather which we have coming up for Mother's Day or Memorial Day weekend, we'll see that. And actually, I'll show you the 10-day as we head through the next couple of days. Tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday, yes, will be hot and dry for the most part. A few isolated storms will be possible. We get to Wednesday, that's when we're expecting that next threat for rain and storms, especially Wednesday morning. I think we could be dealing with some strong storms, but that's going to be ahead of a strong cold front, and that strong cold front will bring, check it out, pleasant weather for later this week, starting Thursday through the upcoming weekend. I know a lot of graduations are Thursday and Friday. Good news, a lot of graduations all this week. Should be okay. Even on Wednesday, I think a lot of this is morning activity. So if you're afternoon or evening graduation, you should be okay. But check out those morning lows. We got some 50s coming back to Middle Georgia. That's going to be a welcome sight. Afternoon highs into the low 80s, and it's not going to be humid. Enjoy that, because that's not going to last, and that looks to continue through Memorial Day. Now, after Memorial Day, it looks like we'll get another round of rain and storms on the day after Memorial Day, but we got to get through the next couple of hot days, and then we got to get through the rain and storms on Wednesday. And like I said, this will probably be a severe weather day for portions of Middle Georgia. Just go ahead and prepare for that. And then as we look towards the end of the week, Memorial Day weekend, looking great across the mid-state. Absolutely loving that, with those highs back down into the 50s. So that's the long range model, or the long range forecast. But the short range forecast, it's all about the severe storm right now down in our southeastern counties. Again, Warner Robins off towards the north. You're in the clear. Severe weather threat is over. Yes, it's raining and thundering, lightning, gusty winds, still a possibility, but that severe weather threat is really for our southeastern counties, specifically Dodge and Lawrence County. It's where you're likely seeing the worst of that weather, from Dexter to Eastman. A lot of lightning with this storm, some gusty winds, probably about to come through Abbeville, and that's going to continue to work off towards the south and east. Chauncey, you're up next. Milan, McRae, Alamo, and like I said, we may get one more warning for Telfair and Wheeler and Montgomery County. It's the warning down towards Uvalde, so just be mindful of that. This should stay south of Soperton, the worst of the weather. So south of Interstate 16 is where the worst of this storm is going to be moving through. Again, looking back at social media. Like I said, hopefully, we don't have to have more severe weather this afternoon. This morning stuff, I really think is zapping the atmosphere. So that's certainly some great news. If you notice, over the last 20 minutes or so, yes, you still have this core of this thunderstorm, but it's not producing as much lightning. That continues to show us that the storm is weakening as it moves off towards the south and east. But again, 11:47, we've got 30 minutes, roughly 28 minutes left on this severe thunderstorm warning. Again, it does include from Dooley County and Crisp County, all of Wilcox County, portions of Pulaski County, all of Dodge County, just about all of Telfair County, southern Lawrence County, and western Wheeler County. And like I said, we may get one more warning for Wheeler and Montgomery counties as the storm's kind of moving back off towards the east a little bit. It's been wobbling a little bit, so that is what we are looking at here for the next few minutes. Again, back off towards the north, we are A-okay. Let's get through this, and we'll start reevaluating the atmosphere when we get this last warning out of Middle Georgia, and we'll decide if we're going to have more severe weather this afternoon and evening here in Middle Georgia. So hopefully we do not. This morning stuff has taken a lot out of the atmosphere, but we'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, we'll wait on that new update coming from the Storm Prediction Center. That'll be released at approximately 12:30, and we'll have a lot better understanding of how much of the energy this morning stuff has zapped out of the atmosphere, and whether we will see redevelopment this afternoon and evening across middle Georgia. But hopefully, like yesterday, we will not, and that's what we're hoping for. So step off just for a second and go look at something over here. Yeah, good news is still not seeing major reports of damage in middle Georgia. But again, if you are seeing damage at your location, let us know so we can relay that information. Like I said, we rely heavily on the weather service as well as the emergency managers, but you're the first line of defense. You are there when it happens, so let us know if you're seeing any severe weather here or any damage from this severe weather at your location. And I think in just looking at stuff, we're gonna reevaluate it. All right, big picture once again. Morning stuff. Hopefully this is zapping the atmosphere. Like I said, encouraged by, there were warnings earlier with this. So the fact that we're not seeing warnings now, hopefully that's a good sign. Maybe this is, I know the atmosphere really got worked over in the Alabama area this morning, but we'll just have to wait and see on these storms coming through. If these do hold together and maybe pick up some intensity, these would be coming through 4 or 5 o'clock this evening at the earliest, maybe a little bit later. But I really expect a lot of these to, again, atmosphere really been worked over in these areas. So we'll just have to wait and see. Again, the watch you see in effect, it's not going to make it till 1. I think as soon as we get this last warning out of the viewing area, out of middle Georgia, we'll actually see the watch canceled for most of middle Georgia. So that will be great news. Again, here is the watch currently, but like I said, it's for our extreme southeastern counties. From Warner Robins off towards the north, no more severe weather threat. No severe weather threat off towards the west. Johnson County, no longer a severe weather threat. So essentially from Cochran off towards the north, Montezuma off towards the north, those counties, you're in the clear. Main threat continues to be in our extreme southeastern counties, and that's where we're going to continue to watch this area of thunderstorms. Again, we'll get off of here in just about 12:15 when that warning has been allowed to expire, but still a few showers back off towards the north and west. Those are just plain rain, not even seeing any or much in the way of lightning show up. But the Coney River, that's where we're seeing the rainfall. Rain's done in Macon for us, pretty much it. Forsyth, Thomaston, Butler, probably about 20 more minutes of rain in Peach County, as well as Houston County, and then we'll continue to track this storm as it moves off towards the south and east. Again, Dodge County, Southern Lawrence County, Northern Telfair County, Wheeler County, and again, we may see a new warning issue to include the rest of Wheeler as well as Montgomery County. So we'll just be watching for that over the next few minutes or so. Storm's kind of wobbling back towards the east a little bit. It's been moving southeast mostly, kind of moving back towards the left a little bit. So again, that's what we were watching for. See what the weather service is saying as well. Well, warning continues. Right. All right. And again, let's see. what's going to tell us a lot too is, let's look at the satellite imagery. This will tell us a lot too. All right, this is the visible satellite imagery. This is the thunderstorms and everything we're seeing. As long as it stays cloudy, we got no issues the rest of today. However, if we start to see a clearing sky, that could be, if we get some sunshine, that could allow for redevelopment of thunderstorms. So we're going to keep an eye on things. And again, this is loading. Actually, it looks like we're going to start seeing some sunshine back off towards the west. So the amount of sunshine we see today could, again, destabilize the atmosphere, make it unstable, where we do get more thunderstorms developing this afternoon and evening. So we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, sun may be out coming soon in Macon. Kind of get tunnel vision a lot of times on these thunderstorms. So yeah, we'll look off towards Mercer University, or Cameron at Mercer, and sky's starting to clear. So here's a general idea. Yeah, there's starting to see some little bit of blue sky trying to break through, but temperatures into the 60s, got that east-north wind at 8 miles per hour. So we'll likely see some sunshine. But like I said, just depends. We got some sunshine after yesterday afternoon after the morning storms, and it didn't help destabilize the atmosphere. So we'll just have to wait and see. We'll see some clearing. We'll get some sunshine today. Still going to be a pretty decent Sunday for many locations. So we'll just have to wait and see. But like I said, we'll get through this morning round of stuff, and then we'll start reevaluating what we can expect to see the rest of this afternoon and evening. And like you said, lightning has really decreased in output and intensity over the last 20 to 30 minutes. So this storm continues to weaken. Still got those gusty winds, and all of Middle Georgia still dealing with that rain and thunderstorm activity. So this is what we are looking at right now. Coming up on 12 o'clock, the warning goes until 12:15, and hopefully this will be our last warning of the day. So we'll just have to wait and see. But again, worst of the weather from Chauncey towards Cadwell, 319, Lowry, Barnhill. You get in towards Wheeler County Elementary School, Telfair County Elementary School, Avance, Jaybird Springs. There's some of those communities we were saying earlier. Temperance, and then you get down into Jacksonville, which is pretty close to the Ocmulgee River down towards the south. There's Lumber City, Jordan, Towns, and then Tallahassee, not the Florida one, the one down in South Georgia. And then, again, this is just what we're watching. Heaviest rainfall, southern Lawrence County, Wheeler County, south or east, most of Dodge County, and that's going to be heading into Telfair County as we speak. So that is what we are dealing with this storm right now. Looking back towards the west, again, a few showers developing back towards Coweta County, but nothing of concern. And like I said, this severe weather threat will wind down here in the next few minutes, and then we'll see if we get that afternoon and evening stuff redeveloping. We'll keep an eye on it for sure, but like I said, I'll post an update on our website and to social media when that update comes through. So making sure everybody's staying informed and up to date, because again, it doesn't take much when we're dealing with these storms. So we continue to watch this. Still got that severe thunderstorm warning until 12:15. Like I said, everything looks pretty decent right now. Rain has ended in Macon. We saw that clearing as we looked off towards the west on our Wilson Bryant Heating and Air Skycast network. And then everything looking good right now. No other issues to report. Like I said, the warning goes until 12:15 as we speak. So that is what we are dealing with here in Middle Georgia as we are continuing to watch these severe storms. So again, things are winding down, certainly some great news, but we still got about 15 minutes left on this cluster of storms that's moving through our southeastern counties. Like I said, southern Lawrence County, Dodge County, Wheeler County, getting into Montgomery County soon, and Telfair County. You're going to be under the gun the next few minutes. So McRae, Helena, and then down towards Jacksonville, Lumber City, community of towns, and then you get south of there, that gets you down into Coffee and Bacon counties down that way across the river. But we continue to watch this one area of cluster. And again, lightning output continues to decrease. That's showing me the storm is weakening. So that is certainly some great news. But McRae, you're about to be getting those very gusty winds, that heavy rainfall. Those are coming in from Chauncey, Milan, Workmore, Towns, Wheeler County Elementary School, which is pretty close to right here. So here's Wheeler County, and then this is Telfair County. And then you get over towards Montgomery County. That's what we're going to be looking at for the next few minutes. And then here's Lawrence County. Looks like some of that heaviest rainfall right along 319 as you drop south from 16 out of Dublin, heading down towards McRae. So Alamo, Mount Vernon, Soperton, very heavy rainfall as well, but not a severe weather threat. And then down towards 21 gets you closer to Lumber City, down in those things. And there you go. They just allowed that warning to be expired. So that is certainly some great news. Storm has fallen below severe weather. So they canceled it. So that's certainly some good news. So let's go back to big picture real quick. All right, so again, severe weather threat is winding down here in middle Georgia this morning. That'll get out of here. So giving you the all clear as far as the severe weather threat. Still got a couple of, maybe another hour or two of heavy rainfall, some lightning in our eastern counties. But again, we are doing good. The severe weather threat is over with for now. Now, next few minutes, I'll be looking at stuff, seeing if we get that redevelopment of the afternoon stuff. But again, just saying, got a new severe thunderstorm warning with this stuff coming out of Mississippi. Hopefully, this heads more off towards the north and stays north of us, unlike this one that came diving off towards the south and east. So again, it has been my pleasure serving you. I'm going to do an update here soon on the webs and let you know if we're going to see that additional severe weather this afternoon and evening. But again, I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Stinnett. Stay safe out there in middle Georgia. Severe weather threat is winding down across the mid-state, which is certainly some good news, but take it easy out there. For the next couple of hours, roads are going to be wet. And again, we'll be evaluating the atmosphere and what we could see the rest of this afternoon here in the mid-state. So that is what we are tracking right now. Things are winding down. Round 1 done. Will we have round 2? We'll just have to wait and see.